It's Game 1 of the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs as the number 3 seed Wareham Gateman head into Lowell Park here today to face off against the number 2 seed Cotuit Kettleers. Hi, everybody, and welcome back into the Kettleers Digital Network. I'm Joe Pratt, joined alongside, as always, by my broadcast partner, Alex Rocco. And we got a good one set up here today for a single-game elimination game between these two clubs who have played a couple of great games so far this summer, Alex.
That they have, and if the last game was any indication of what today should be, we should be in store for an excellent playoff matchup. And that was a game where the Cotuit Kettleers hit the road, traveled to Spillane Field, and took on, of course, Wareham. And that was a game that Cotuit led 8-0 in the top of the third inning. But Ryan Smythe, the head coach for Wareham, got ejected, and that was all the Gatemen needed. They scored 10 runs and ended up picking up the 10-9 victory over the Kettleers. But that isn't the first of many close games that these two teams have played this year. A 7-6 game on the road that Cotuit ended up winning, and a couple of 4-2 matchups that Cotuit ended up taking. But these games have all been really close, and we should be in store for an excellent playoff matchup.
Yeah, we definitely should, and these two teams playing, as you mentioned it, just a couple of days ago, and that was the second biggest comeback in Cape League history. So the Kettleers maybe getting a little bit of payback today to try to get this win at Lowell Park, where they've been dominant in the season series already.
That they have, and you could view it as a revenge game for the Kettleers, and that was something that Nate Early talked about, who's hitting fourth for Wareham, the designated hitter, is we walked this team off on our home field, danced in front of them. So yeah, Cotuit's going to bring their own energy. They're going to have revenge on their mind. So Wareham knows Cotuit's going to bring their A game. Wareham knows they're going to have to match that intensity, so we should be in store for an excellent matchup.
So let's go ahead and get into that pitching matchup. It's going to be Mikey Ebner out of USC on to make his second start for the Kettleers this summer, and he's going up against Tate McGuire, who is making his second start against the Kettleers so far this summer. And what excites you about this pitching matchup?
Well, it should be an excellent pitching match between two top arms, and we could start off with the Kettleers starter Michael Ebner, who finished the regular season with a 4-1 record, a 1.9 ERA, made 7 appearances out of the bullpen, started the last game of his season against Orleans, where he went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, allowed just 1 run, threw 70 pitches, and when Michael Ebner's on, he's getting ahead of hitters, and that's something that we've seen all throughout the year. And this isn't his first outing against Wareham. Back on July 19th in the Kettleers 6-1 victory, Ebner came on through the final 4 innings, didn't give up a hit, and only walked a batter, picking up his first save of the season. And when Michael Ebner's on, there aren't too many pitchers that are as unhittable as he is. But on the flip side, Tate McGuire, another guy who has had a lot of success this year, a 2-1 record, 3.81 ERA in 7 appearances, making 7 starts, 26 innings, 33 strikeouts. He's a swing and miss guy, and that's something that the Kettleers saw a lot in the first 3 innings that he faced against Cotuit back on July 10th.
And these are two teams that have kind of struggled since the All-Star break, maybe even limping to the finish line, some people might say, but what's going to be a key in this game for the Kettleers to get a hot start and try to get on the board first?
Well, it's something that me and you always talk about every broadcast. It has to be the first 3 innings, and Cotuit needs to set the tone. You're on home field, and you have your best pitcher on the mound, and anytime you come out, you got to give your own guy some run support, and if Cotuit can jump on the board, and we've seen a lot of hot batters in this Kettleer lineup. Guys like Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, Nathan Hall, Matt Klein are all swinging really hot sticks. If they can jump on Tate McGuire, that would lead to some early success.
And for the Wareham Gatemen, this is a team that offensively has been a spark plug all season, seemingly one of the best offenses in the league, but in their last 10 games, they've hit a bit of a rough patch, but also getting a win in the last game of the season the other night, and it's a team that, as we've seen from other teams around this league and in this division, has a lot of guys from the start of the summer position player-wise, but then once you get into the bullpen for both of these teams, there are a lot of new faces and a lot of rotation going on there, so even after these starters are out of the game, what's going to be the key to continuing to win the last 4 or 5 innings of this contest?
Well, I think that question is exactly answered by what Coach Smythe said heading into this in their preview that they wrote on their website, Wareham, being, we're going to need a good start. The bat's got to be alive, and we need to play a good 9 innings of baseball. We can do that. We're just as good as any other team in this league, and I think at this point in the postseason, it's who wants to stay here another day longer, and I think we've had the team that's been wanting to be here all season long, and that point has been proven even in that last game against Cotuit. They were down 8-0 on the heels of losing 5 consecutive games. They didn't want to make it 6. They battled back. They got excellent pitching from their bullpen. Their I think after the 5th inning, they only allowed just 2 base hits against the Kettleers, and this is a team that is battle-tested, they're hungry, and they want to win a championship.
That's what they're going for right now, and that's what they're going to go do or try to do when we come back on the Kettleers Digital Network, but that's going to do it for us here on the Kettleers starting 9, starting lineup, starting pitchers, and first pitch between Wareham and Cotuit when we return here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Don't go anywhere.
into left field, and it's gone. Did he do it again? He did. What a play by Tyler Cerny, gloving it and making the spinning throw.
That ball is gone.
Oh, what a play by Devin Taylor in right field.
Have a hit! Have a hit!
The Kettleers take to the field for round one of the 2024 CCBL playoffs as Mikey Ebner makes his way out to the bump for his second start of the summer for the Kettleers, his 9th overall appearance. And Alex, why don't you run us through that Gateman lineup?
Well, leading things off for Wareham is the second baseman, Johan Desero. Batting second and getting the start in right field is Colby Turner. Batting third is Murph Gray, who's getting the start at the hot corner. And Murph Gray, a name to watch for the Wareham Gateman, has had a lot of success against Cotuit this year, 9 for 20 in the 5 matchups during the regular season. Hitting fourth and getting the start at DH is Nate Early. Batting fifth and playing center field is Reese Chapman. Batting sixth and starting at first base is Eli Putnam. Hitting seventh and getting the nod in left field is Sam White. Hitting eighth and starting at shortstop is Antonio Jimenez. And rounding out the Gateman lineup is the catcher, Jacob Jarrell.
And the Kettleers will line up with a similar infield that we've seen from pretty much the past week of the season, where Luke Hansen is playing at shortstop and Timo Becerra on the left side of the infield. Jaron Advincula, the everyday man at second base, gets his 38th start there. So it's going to be Tanner Thatch with his 36th start of the summer at first base. Jaron Advincula his 38th at second. Luke Hansen gets his 4th start at shortstop, and Timo Becerra will play at the hot corner third. The outfield from left to right, Brandon Compton, Charles Davalon, and Nathan Hall in right field. Matt Klein will be behind the dish once again for Mikey Ebner, and the designated hitter for the Kettleers is Devin Taylor. So Johan Desero will dig in as the first batter that Mikey Ebner will face, as this is the first playoff game set to kick off today, along with Orleans at YD, 4 p.m. at Red Wilson Field. But here we go, the 6th matchup between these two clubs in 2024. Mikey Ebner is ready, Johan Desero is ready, and here comes the first pitch. A fastball right down the gut, strike one. It's a great start for Mikey Ebner, who has really done a lot of that in his first 8 appearances this summer. Desero takes a big cut at the next pitch. He's behind 0-2, excuse me. But Mikey Ebner is the only pitcher on the Kettleers roster right now who has been here since opening day. Next closest to him, Aiden Hunter, who joined the club on June 28th, and that one in the dirt. 1-2 the count here to Desero. But Mikey Ebner making his first appearance in Game 2 of the summer, where he faced 9 batters, retired each of them. Now he misses upstairs here. They check with the third base umpire. He says Desero didn't go, and the count's 2-2. So right there you saw Matt Newman at third, Sam Finn as the second base ump in shallow right field, Ryan DeMary at first, and now this offering is hammered into the right field corner. Nate Hall gives chase over the line. In foul territory, he makes the grab. First out of the day for Mikey Ebner, first out of the day for the Kettleers. And there's one gone for Colby Turner.
Johan Desero got a pitch up in the zone, attacked it, hit it deep down the right field line. Nathan Hall had a beat on it the entire way, covering a lot of ground down that right field line and making the running grab for the first out.
Now here's Colby Turner. Second man in the lineup has had a 4 for 15 month of August. And he takes up and away. Turner getting his second straight start against the Kettleers, a guy who enjoyed a strong start to the summer in his first 10 games. Batted .269. 3 hits against Cotuit so far this year, as that next pitch misses downstairs, 2-0. But he's someone who, like Murph Gray, who's in the on-deck circle right now, has been able to reach base at a pretty high clip this summer. 327 on base percentage. Now he takes outside once more, and that to go along with a 240 clip is pretty solid. It's a big reason as to why he's been at the top of the lineup for the Gatemen, but hasn't enjoyed as much success against the Kettleers this summer. As Ebner, who's working primarily from the stretches behind 3-0, and now he's able to find the box there to make it 3-1. Now, it's not often that Ebner falls behind in the count.
No, it really isn't, and that was something that he talked about earlier this year, his mentality, and that's something that he's tried to work on a lot this summer with the Kettleers, getting first pitch strikes and attacking these hitters early.
He attacks here once more, and Timo Becerra fields the first ground ball of the day for the Kets in time at first to get out number 2.
Seems to be a different intensity and different buzz, and it's what you like to see from the Kettleers after outs. They're being vocal from the bench, and that really hasn't been something that we've seen from in the regular season, and always good to turn up the intensity one more notch when you reach the playoffs.
And when you take a look at the last time these two teams played, where Cotuit jumped out to that 8-0 lead, it seemed like all the juice, even when they were up 8-0, was in the Wareham dugout.
That it was, and we had our crowd mic right near the Wareham dugout, and it was getting hard to even hear each other.
That one rolled past Timo Becerra. He gloves it, but in foul territory.
There were a couple of plays where we have our headsets on, and I could barely even hear you, and that's a sign of a team that's playing together, playing well, and battling day in, day out, and wanting to win for each other and make a deep run in the playoffs, and that win really propelled them to jumping up into this spot.
And also wanting to win for their manager, who heads to his first CCBL playoffs, Ryan Smythe, as Murph Gray fans threw a second pitch breaking ball, and he's down in the count 0-2. But Ryan Smythe, in his second season as the Wareham manager, after missing the playoffs last year, has come back to be the number 3 seed to make their first postseason run since 2019. As that one is fouled off of Gray's front leg, and you were just talking about it, this one of the most dangerous hitters in the Wareham lineup.
9 for 20 against Cotuit this season, and he started off 1 for 6, but 2 for 5 in the last game. The last time we were here at Lowell Park, he had an excellent day, 3 for 4, a double, a home run. Just such a talented hitter.
Gets another piece of that one, and now he'll make it a 5-pitch at-bat, even despite being down 0-2.
He's been on a tear in the month of August, playing in 3 games, 5 for 13 with a double and RBI, and he's just been super consistent. His month of July, excellent, playing in 20 games at .333, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So even despite all that success against the Kettleers this summer, Murph Gray goes down hacking to put an end to the top of the first inning. So Mikey Ebner works it well through the first frame. 3 up, 3 down, and the Kettleers will have their first looks on Tate McGuire when we return here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards.
Bottom of the first inning, Tate McGuire is out there to make his second start against the Kettleers this summer as Brandon Compton digs in. Alex, how do the rest of the Kettleers line up against him?
Brandon Compton will lead off. Batting behind him, Devin Taylor. Hitting third is Tanner Thatch. Hitting cleanup, Charles Davalon. Batting fifth, Matt Klein. Hitting sixth, Jaron Advincula. Hitting seventh, Nathan Hall. Eighth is Timo Becerra. And ninth is Luke Hansen.
Brandon Compton takes strike one at 93. Compton, a guy who has settled into the leadoff spot nicely in this Kettleers order, but he flips this one high into foul territory. Catcher Jacob Jarrell making his way over. Along the fence line, he is unable to make the play as that one hit against the top bar of that fencing. Of course, there's about 3 feet of netting that's above the fence, too. And it barely got inside of the net, but hit the top of the fence. So Compton got away with one there, you could say.
That's a pitch that you could say Tate McGuire got away with. Left a fastball right down the heart of the plate to Brandon Compton, who's been on a tear as of late. Hit his 6th home run to end the regular season, now over 30 RBIs.
Now he tips that one in and out of the glove of Jacob Jarrell. He's able to stay alive once more.
Jarrell frustrated with himself after that. You saw his head lean back and probably let out a couple of words that should have held on to that baseball. And any time you could get Brandon Compton to go down on 3 pitches, you would take it.
The 0-2, now he takes down in the dirt. Clearly not a guy you want to continue to give opportunities to at the plate. Someone who led the team this season with 30 RBIs, a .331 hitter through 38 games. And he goes down on strikes against Tate McGuire to start off this game.
McGuire attacking Compton early, not afraid to pitch to the dangerous Brandon Compton, gave him a couple of pitches over the heart of the plate, and then Compton expands his zone, going down on the breaking ball.
And now here's Devin Taylor. Also spent some time as the leadoff man, and he takes a big cut at that 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Tate McGuire, 0-1. But we've seen Mike Roberts try a bunch of different guys in the leadoff spot in the order as Devin Taylor takes up and inside now. It's 1-1. But it's been Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, and Tanner Thatch, each of those guys having at least 5 starts in the leadoff spot so far this summer. So it makes sense as to why they're 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup today.
That it does, and Devin Taylor, another one of these players that has been on a tear as of late, 7 for his last 14. Pair of doubles that came the last time these two teams squared off, 2 RBIs as well.
Also has a great eye, as we just saw there. Now it's 2-2.
Has walked 17 times this year in 29 regular season games.
.397 on base percentage, leads this team with a .907 OPS. Now he breaks his bat there, and we'll have to grab a new piece of lumber from the dugout. But Devin Taylor is a guy who all summer has been a force for the Kettleers in the lineup, whether he's able to make a difference with his bat or just by getting on base. He's someone who can change the game in a lot of different ways, and that's a big reason as to why he's set to, based on MLB.com, to go in the top 10 of next year's MLB draft.
We've just seen him be so consistent at the dish. In the month of June, got off to a tear, 5 for 16, then left to go to Team USA. And although the average wasn't there when he came back, only hitting .250, which is a crazy statement.
He swings and misses at strike 3 here. It's back-to-back swinging Ks for Tate McGuire.
We saw the power of Devin Taylor come alive. He hit 4 home runs, and then, once again, like we mentioned earlier, such a hot hitter in the month of August.
That's really what you want to see. This team getting hot at the perfectly right time. And here's a guy in Tanner Thatch who's had to wait quite some time since his last home run. That really seemed like he was going to be in the running to be one of the guys at the end of the season fighting for the home run title. But for Tanner Thatch, it's been a while since one has left the yard for him.
Last home run came on July 17th at a game against Orleans.
Rolls that foul. He's down 0-2.
It's also been scuffling as of late, just 3 for his last 17. Hasn't drove in any runs in the month of August, has struck out 7 times while only working 1 walk.
The 0-2. Thatch powers this one into right field, playable for Colby Turner, and he makes the grab. So it was 3 up, 3 down for Mikey Ebner. Now it's 3 up, 3 down for Tate McGuire with 2 swinging Ks, and we have a 0-0 first inning. So we head to the second on the Kettleers Digital Network. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website. So we welcome you back in for the top of the second inning, and right there you're taking a look at how the CCBL playoffs align with YD taking on Orleans right now. That game already underway in the bottom of the second inning as we kick off this top of the second frame in this 0-0 game. Also saw a couple other games around the league that will be taking place later on tonight. Bourne at Hyannis, the 4 seed playing against the 1 seed at McKeon Park, Hyannis. That'll be taking place at 6 p.m. and then Harwich at Chatham at 7 p.m. at Veterans Field. As Mikey Ebner is quickly down 2-0 on Nate Early, who starts in the 4th spot today for Ryan Smythe's Gateman, and the 2-0. He gets a hold of this one, ropes that one to deep right field, and if it's fair, it's gone. That ball is gone. A solo home run for Nate Early to lead off the top of the second inning. Mike Roberts is out of the Kettleers dugout livid. He thinks that's a foul ball. Early is rounding third to score the first run of the ball game.
Well, Joe, I think that ball was foul. That ball was crushed deep to right field, but it went to the right of the foul pole, and Mike Roberts has a case. Jaron Advincula talking things over with the first base umpire, Ryan DeMere, and all the Kettleers infielders in uproar. Nate Early hit that ball a long way. That ball was pulled well foul.
It was crushed, clearly had the distance to be a home run, but of all the plays that we've seen this summer and in the past couple of summers, that's one that I've never seen.
And Mike Roberts was adamant, came out of the dugout steaming right toward the home plate umpire, Chris Engstrand, and instantly saying that ball was foul. And now there's a meeting right in front with all the umpires there. And it looked foul from up here, but this is a massive call early on in this game.
It's huge, and you think about the amount of momentum that goes into the baseball game, and that's obviously something that we talked about during the entire 40-game regular season, as it looks like we're about to have a decision, and that's a foul ball. And now Ryan Smythe's going to want an explanation, but this is something that we've talked also a lot about, and when some teams are maybe complaining about a call that was made by a particular umpire, now with this 4-man crew, you have an opportunity to get some more input.
And that's what they did there, talking things over, and that ball was crushed deep down the right field line. It went nearly 380 feet off the bat, 101 miles an hour. But Jaron Advincula, Tanner Thatch, and right fielder Nathan Hall all said that ball was foul. Mike Roberts knew it was foul. And from our vantage point up here, I know it's a tougher view for you right where you're positioned, but for me it looked, visioning right at that right field line, that ball looked well foul.
And from Mike Roberts' place where he's at right around first base, it's also a pretty
solid
solid
angle. Right up the right field line.
Right up that right field line, as is Tanner Thatch, Jaron Advincula, and mainly you saw Nathan Hall. He didn't even take a step in right field, mainly because the ball was crushed, but also he could have thought that one was well foul. But boy, what a tough situation for Nate Early, as there was some early controversy taking place in this ball game, but it is going to be a 0-0 score. Both of these teams will have to refocus as Mikey Ebner is still up there pitching to now a 2-1 count. So after all of that, it just goes down as strike one. Here's the 2-1. Taken low and inside. Looked like a strong pitch there from Ebner as well. But it'll be a 3-1 count. Chris Engstrand, the home plate umpire, he didn't make that call. Ryan DeMary up first did, as that one is flicked high, but the yard will hold it as Jaron Advincula falls down. Hansen battling the wind, but now Charles Davalon will make the play. And there's one gone.
Charles Davalon had to run a long way in from center field. Jaron Advincula slipping in short, right in the outfield. Luke Hansen battling the wind there, but Charles Davalon coming in, making the play, and it's always smart for your outfielder. They have a beat. They're running in. They're not backing up. They have less of a chance to lose their balance. Davalon running in a long way to make the grab.
Now the batter is Reese Chapman. He takes a big cut at the first pitch he sees, down 0-1. So for Nate Early, it would have been his third home run of the summer, first against the Cotuit Kettleers. 0-1 offering, misses everything, goes back to the backstop. He's someone at Florida Southwestern this past season, a JUCO in Florida. He hit 16 bombs. Part of his year where he had a .335 clip through 54 games. But now it's Reese Chapman, who is now working with a 2-1 count against him. 22 games throughout the 40-game regular season for the Gateman. He was added to the roster after the 4th on July 7th. 14 driven in and a .195 clip. 3 of his 16 hits have left the yard as that one's off the end of his bat. Brandon Compton should have a play on it as he crosses into foul territory towards the fence, and he pulls it down for out number 2.
Nice job by Ebner, who fell behind Reese Chapman. Got Chapman on a pitch in on his hands. He went the opposite way, and Brandon Compton doing a good job battling the wind and staying near that fence to hold it in for the second out.
And now here's Eli Putnam, as it's been 5 up, 5 down so far for Mikey Ebner against these Wareham Gatemen. But it was Eli Putnam who was up at the plate with the bases juiced the last time these two teams played in the bottom of the 9th inning as he takes 1-0 outside. And he worked a walk against Zach Duenas. That ended up walking off that game, scoring the 10th run of the ball game for Wareham. They won that 10-9 as that one's roped on the ground towards Jaron Advincula. One hopper, he's got it. And in time at first to get out number 3. So 6 up, 6 down for Mikey Ebner and the Kettleers as we go to the home half of the second. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net. So we move into the bottom of the second inning, and there you have a look at Nate Early in the Wareham dugout. He's a designated hitter today, and he thought he had his 4th home run of the summer an inning ago, before that one was overturned by this umpiring crew, and this game is still 0-0. He put that one right over the bench of the bullpen in right, where as we were heading into this inning, Davalon powers this one deep right center field. Going back, Turner looking up, it's gone. That one's in fair territory, and the Kettleers take a 1-0 lead. Charles Davalon's second home run of the summer, and the Kettleers jump out in front in the second.
That ball was crushed by Charles Davalon. Got a pitch right over the heart of the plate from Tate McGuire. Absolutely makes no mistake. Crushed it right off the bat. Knew it. Watched it fly. And what a huge momentum swing for Cotuit and Wareham in this game, as Wareham thought they had a home run on the first pitch of the bottom half of the inning. Charles Davalon answers right back.
And that was after 2 swinging strikeouts and a weak contact flyout in the first inning against Tate McGuire. As you just saw, an eruption from the Kettleers dugout, and it looks like they're about to be issued a warning from this umpiring crew. But that's just the electricity that you need to see right now.
That might be the loudest the Kettleer dugout has been all season long. They knew that ball was gone right off the bat, and they've had a different buzz and intensity after this game. And now we're still going to have some more discussion, but you want to see that intensity, and that's the same intensity that Wareham played with in that last game that they had the 10-9 victory in.
Now Matt Klein takes a big swing at the first pitch breaking ball. That one dipping beneath his bat at 81 miles an hour. The changeup there from Tate McGuire. 0-1. Matt Klein has enjoyed a solid campaign against the Gatemen so far this summer, has also powered one out of the ballpark against Wareham. That was at Spillane Field, though, and it was actually against the man pitching to him, who just took a 1-2 advantage. Klein went 1 for 2 against Tate McGuire. He struck out swinging the first time they faced each other before blasting his first and only homer of the summer to right field. Now he gets that one in off of his hands, and Murph Gray tracks it into foul territory. At the end of the dugout, he pulls down the first out.
It's a good response for Tate McGuire coming back on the mound, getting ahead of Matt Klein and letting him work a measly pop-up just to Murph Gray at third base.
And there was a controversial play at third base between Murph Gray and the man at the plate, Jaron Advincula, who just came off of a 37-game season and was honored with the CCBL batting title before this game with a .392 clip. 0-1. It's off the end of his bat and into foul territory towards the snack shack. But it was Murph Gray, Jaron Advincula with a close play at third base, where Advincula was trying to advance there on a ball that was just thrown back by Jacob Jarrell back to the pitcher at the time. As that one's low, it's 1-2. Murph Gray thought he had beat Advincula to the bag. Advincula was just trying to catch the infield off guard, and it was that close play at second where Advincula was ruled safe on that kicked Ryan McGuire out of the game, but that led to a spark for the rest of that contest for the Gatemen as they went on to score 8 unanswered after that play.
And the quote that Ryan Smythe had after the game was, "My whole thing is Murph Gray is one of the coolest scouts out there, and to see the reaction he had, I knew something wasn't right. It was a big moment, and I knew I had to protect my guys when they needed to be protected is what needed to be done, and I went out and did that." And it helped spark a explosion out of the Wareham dugout and helped them pick up a massive victory to snap a 5-game losing streak.
Advincula puts that one straight back up the middle. Gloved by Jimenez. He throws behind the bag in time at first to get the second out of this frame. So there's 2 gone, 1 already in for the Kettleers. And now here comes Nate Hall. But, yeah, that was a great instance of maybe a younger coach in this league who had great feel for the game right there.
That he did, and sometimes you just get that sense when you've lost 5 consecutive games and you know you need to get a spark within your team already trailing 8-0. You go out, sacrifice yourself. You have faith in your coaching staff that they can do a good job getting and steering the ship back in the right direction, and Ryan Smythe did that.
And he's someone who, through his first couple of years at Wareham, has really enjoyed what it has brought to this team and what he has brought to this team, but what it also has brought to his family, and just being able to experience this each and every summer, or what he hopes to be each and every summer from here on out, and seemingly hasn't wasted an opportunity in doing that as he makes the playoffs in just his second year. But when you look at a guy who is able to have such great feel like that, but he also seems like somebody who, even with the context of that situation, just loves to coach his players and coach them well. as they're going to be playing from behind here as Charles Davalon gave the Kettleers a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. But it was 3 up, 3 down after that. And we'll send it to a quick break, and we'll be back for the top of the third inning here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
When you need to be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
When you need to be seen for a
And we're back for the top of the third inning as Mikey Ebner heads back out there in his second start of the summer. And if you rewind about 6 days ago, he was making his first start for the Kettleers, and that was at Eldridge Park. So he went back to where it all started in a pinstriped uniform, making his first appearance at Orleans, 3 innings, scoreless ball in Game 2 of the summer. As that one's rolled on the ground towards Tanner Thatch, he slides, scoops it, and flips to first in time to get Sam White to start off the top of the third.
It's been typical Michael Ebner early on in this game, is now getting a 1-pitch out against Sam White, 27 pitches, 16 strikes, 2 1/3 innings, 8 up for him. A strikeout, of course, didn't come without a little bit of controversy in grand fashion. Nate Early with hitting that foul home run after some review, but it's been a great start from Michael Ebner early on.
And it was a good start on July 31st, last Wednesday, when he got that appearance against Orleans in Eldridge Park. Went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run. No walks, also a strikeout. Matt Klein back behind the plate for Mikey Ebner again today, and now that pitch misses low in the dirt to Antonio Jimenez, who's working into his 40th game played this summer. Has started all but 1 game for the Gatemen this year. Only 1 other player in the CCBL is able to say that. 2-0 from Ebner. Tough to tell where that one missed. It's now 3-0. But Phoenix Call getting the start in each and every game for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox this summer. The only man who came close to that mark is at the plate right now, who across that span hit 203 at the plate, 3 for 19 against the Kettleers, and once again starting at shortstop.
Joe, you want to know what's really funny? Phoenix Call currently at the dish in the YD Orleans game.
What timing. Jimenez fights that one off towards Advincula. He has to underhand it to first, not in time. So Jimenez beats that out. It's their first base run of the day, first hit of the day. And with 1 gone, Jacob Jarrell will be dealing with that runner on first.
That was a pitch at the top of the strike zone that Jimenez just fights off a weak ground ball to Jaron Advincula, who was playing back on the dirt at second base. Had to run in a long way and struggled with making the underhand flip to Tanner Thatch, but good speed by Jimenez as he legs it out.
So Antonio Jimenez takes his lead on first. They're going to want to check back there, as he's someone who has attempted 9 stolen bags this summer, has been successful in 5 of those attempts. Look back there again on a high throw from Tanner Thatch. Now maybe trying to catch Jimenez sleeping by faking that throw back to the mound to Ebner, who's facing Jacob Jarrell, who going into this contest 4 for 10 against the Kettleers. Takes a fastball outside. But he's someone who enjoyed an incredible start to the summer, was 7 for his first 23 at the plate, a .304 hitter, home run, a trio of RBIs, also walked 3 times, and then went on in the month of July to have 1 more hit in 10 more games played. So a bit of a rougher patch at the plate for Jacob Jarrell through the biggest month of the season, as that one is flipped high and out of play, and he's down in the count 0-2. It is the longest month in the season, could be the most important month for playoff seeding, but this is really where it all matters right now, as you're seeing 2 teams who have been vying for the #1 spot in the West Division pretty much all summer, but then out of nowhere, Hyannis comes back, takes the #1 seed, and then the rest of the playoffs weren't decided until the very final game of the regular season. And so that's really what you want to see. I mean, when you take a look at the way that this setup is kind of aligned in terms of the playoffs, where 8 total teams make it, 4 make it, you can kind of maybe say that it invalidates the regular season, but you could also argue against that notion and saying how, well, not everything was decided until game 40 of 40.
And even it took a little longer than our game after Cotuit lost against Bourne. We were thinking that the first-round matchup was going to be a game against Bourne and Cotuit, a rematch of last year's playoff. But just the way the cards fell, Wareham defeating Falmouth in that game 9-5, jumping over Bourne and taking the 3 spot and playing against Cotuit. And I don't think too many teams are going to want to play the Hyannis squad, especially on the road in such a hostile environment.
Oh, definitely not, as that one's rocketed off the bump into the glove of Luke Hansen. He flips it to second, relayed to first, in time for 2. What a fantastic double play drawn by Luke Hansen, Jaron Advincula, and Tanner Thatch. 6-4-3 puts an end to the top of the 3rd inning. We send it to the home half of the 3rd frame, with the Kettleers still on top, 1-0.
Coffee is a proud
Cape
sponsor
Cod
of the
Healthcare
Cotuit
Urgent
Kettleers.
Care is here for
They
you
offer
with
breakfast and
high-quality,
lunch,
full-service
as well as indoor.
walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
When you
So we're back for the bottom of the 3rd inning with the Kettleers up 1-0. And we've seen, Alex, a lot of conversations going on between this entire umpiring crew, mainly between the home plate ump, talking with the Kettleers coaching staff in between innings, and also Antonio Jimenez, the Gateman shortstop, was just talking with Matt Newman, the third base ump.
It really all started after the Charles Davalon home run, where the warning was issued to the Kettleer bench after a raucous environment there after the home run by Davalon. And curious to see what Antonio Jimenez was talking about. It appeared like nothing controversial, maybe just asking for an opinion on the Nate Early foul home run. But not quite sure.
Yeah, it's really tough to tell. I mean, could be something back from when Antonio Jimenez was batting. He was also at first base, too, back in the third inning, but really not much of a reason for him to be talking, at least from our perspective, with Matt Newman at third. So it's tough to tell if there was maybe something that went on last inning, but that one's rolled on the ground towards Tristan Gray, and his throw long across the diamond is in time to get the leadoff hitter Timo Becerra for out number 1.
After the home run surrendered by McGuire, a nice job bouncing back, 4 up, 4 down for McGuire.
And now a first pitch swinging for Luke Hansen. Sky high for Antonio Jimenez, and there are 2 gone.
Nice job for McGuire on the mound, working weak contact, just 4 pitches, 2 outs against the bottom half of the Kettleer order. Timo Becerra, Luke Hansen, 2 guys that have really been swinging a hot bat for the Kettleers as of late. Those contributions from guys like Becerra and Hansen have been vital for Cotuit's success down the stretch, and at least leading into the playoffs, you want everyone firing on all cylinders. And for Becerra and Hansen to come out of tough stretches and rebound like that, it was definitely something good to see for head coach Mike Roberts and his coaching staff.
And now they're in a 1-run game, and it's kind of a similar situation as to what we've seen the last time these two teams played, or at least you could look at the first couple of games in this season series where it was a pair of 4-2 wins by the home team. Game 3 of the summer, Cotuit losing 4-2 at Spillane Field, as that one's low and inside. The entire infield thought that could have been a called strike 3, but it's a 2-2 count to Brandon Compton, who's already 0 for 1 with a swinging K. But then a 7-6 victory for the Kettleers at Spillane Field, as that one's in the dirt, and a full count to Compton is upcoming. But then after that, a 6-1 win for the Kettleers at Lowell Park on July 19th, followed up by the aforementioned 8-0 comeback victory that the Gatemen were able to pull off. Of course, that game where they were down 8-0 early on through 3 innings, and then came all the way back to win it 10-9. But that's a 2-out base runner for the Kettleers right there. So to go along with the homer, they'll put their first runner at first today. It's Brandon Compton on the full count walk.
Great at bat by Brandon Compton after falling behind in the count 1-2. Laid off a couple of competitive pitches from Tate McGuire, one on the outside corner, one on the inside corner, and works the 2-out walk.
First pitch to Devin Taylor is low and outside for a called strike 1. Kettleers dugout didn't quite like that call. But Devin Taylor will dig back in, refocus after striking out swinging his last time up in the first. Now another big hack, and he's down 0-2, and something that Tate McGuire has done really well today is getting ahead of hitters, especially in that first inning.
That he has 40 pitches, 30 strikes. Tate McGuire getting ahead of these hitters early on.
Taylor has to protect there, as that one was up and away at 92 miles an hour. He's able to stay up there fighting at 0-2, and he found some success against Tate McGuire the last time they faced each other. In the first 3 innings of that ball game back on July 10th, where McGuire got the start, Devin Taylor went 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Now he tries to turn that one around, but he rattles it off the glove of Jarrell, and he's still up there fighting at 0-2.
That was a start where Tate McGuire had to battle a lot of adversity, gave up the lone hit to Taylor, like you mentioned in the first inning, but went through a lot of struggles in the second inning, loaded the bases with no out, and then stranded all the base runners, getting a strikeout of Grant Jay, a flyout of Jaron Advincula, and striking out Max Beluda and the inning.
Taylor rolls that over foul.
Then the Kettleers bats came alive. Matt Klein hit the solo home run that, like we were talking about earlier. Then Nolan Naraki hit a 2-out, 2 RBI double to bring home Devin Taylor.
An offensive performance for the Kettleers at Spillane Field, a comeback effort, as that one's up and outside, and Devin Taylor makes this count 1-2. And that's something that Devin Taylor has just done such a great job of this summer. Even despite falling behind in the count 0-2, is still able to work deep into the at-bat. As here comes the next pitch, it's upstairs. So 2-2 to Devin Taylor. This next one will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Brandon Compton takes his lead from first. And the payoff pitch. Taylor rockets this one high towards left field. Sam White tracking back, twisting towards the fence, reaching up, and he makes the grab. So despite a 2-out base runner of Brandon Compton reaching on the walk, Devin Taylor sends one to about the deepest part of left field that you can without knocking a home run. That puts an end to the bottom of the third inning with the Kettleers still up 1-0. And for the first time today, we'll check in downstairs with our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who has more.
Thanks, Joe and Alex. This just in, Jaron Avincula has received the Thurman Munson Award. This award goes to the player with the highest batting average in the league each year, and Jaron is sitting at a .392 batting average, almost perfect. And what's so great about seeing him receive this award is we've seen Jaron down in the bullpen, hyping up the team. So he's had just as much of an impact on his teammates this summer as he has on that field. And so it'll be great to see what he does with the remainder of the season with the Kettleers and then back at college. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks so much, Adele. As always, great information about Jaron Advincula, who was honored before today's game with the batting title pregame. And a guy who has just been a force in the Kettleers lineup, and doing it so in the bottom half of the lineup too is just so incredible. But now that gives us an opportunity to bring you Ket's Trivia, brought to you by the Cotuit Library. Today's question, a Kettleer who started at third base during the Kettleers' run to the 2019 championship. He played a pivotal role, most importantly, in Game 3 of Round 1 against Wareham, where he turned in 5 scoreless relief innings. He allowed 2 hits, struck out 7 batters, and that was good enough to advance to the division final. And then the Kettleers, of course, would go on to win that championship in 2019. But he debuted for the San Francisco Giants a couple of years ago after being drafted in 2022 in the second round. So who is that Kettleer for Kettleers Trivia today, brought to you by the Cotuit Library? We'll answer that question in just a couple innings. But we start off this top of the fourth inning. That one flicked foul into the parking lot. Off the bat of Johan Desero, who leads off this top of the fourth inning. He also led off this ball game with a fly out to deep right field in foul territory. Now a 2-1 count against him. But it was a 6-4-3 double play at third to put an end to the top of the third inning, just after Mikey Ebner gave up his first single. So Mike Roberts has talked about so much in the last week, as that one goes back to the screen, about how important pitching and, more importantly, defense is in winning ball games.
That it has, and the defense has struggled as of late for Cotuit. They've committed an error in the last 6 consecutive ball games, and making a nice turn up the middle. Luke Hansen, Jaron Advincula teaming up for 2.
Klein has a look at that pop-up, but that'll also get into the parking lot. One fan can't make a play, and that was close too. Luckily no cars harmed. It looks like they're surrounding that Toyota though. Someone came away with it. And there's strike 3. What a way to respond for Mikey Ebner, starting off this top of the fourth inning with his second K.
Pinpoint control for Michael Ebner, who's come out throwing strikes early on, and that's exactly what you want to see is Mike Roberts is coming out to the mound.
Mike Roberts making his way out to the bump, as there is a right-hander warming up in the Kettleers bullpen right now. Has so far made 1 rotation around the lineup, and Mike Roberts is going to have a conversation with him and his entire infield. But this is a decision for Mike Roberts where Adele Huffman has talked to him a lot of times after games this past week, saying how he hasn't had the right feel of games sometimes, and he's made some pitching changes at interesting times in the games that maybe he might have looked back on and regretted. So it looks like here he's going to leave Ebner in the game.
He's also talked about leaving in his starter for a little bit too long, or leaving in pitchers for a little bit too long, but going out to the mound, talking things over with Michael Ebner as his pitch count sitting at 43, 26 strikes, or 26 strikes for Michael Ebner, and seeing how he feels. But it's always so tough, and when you get to these games, the playoffs, is you're trying to manage, you're trying to get to the next round, but you're also trying to save guys to see if you advance further in the playoffs.
And where do you think that at times over-managing comes into play? Do you think that that's something that can happen in games like these?
I think it totally can, and sometimes you just have to go with your gut and go with feel. And if you have a guy who's out on the mound cruising that you say he's going to win us a ball game to advance us to the next round, maybe you just have to ride the hot hand and you don't have him later down the line. And it all comes back to trusting your pitching staff and knowing the guys on your staff, which has been hard for Mike Roberts because there's been 47 different pitchers used for Cotuit this season.
But this is someone he's had a lot of time being able to watch, as going into this game had 23 2/3 innings pitched, the most of any pitcher on this Kettleers roster. And when you look at ERA, you look at the amount of innings pitched and the percentage of that based on the amount of innings that this team has thrown. He is technically the only qualified pitcher on this roster to qualify for any team statistics as a pitcher.
He's been, like you mentioned earlier, he's been the only pitcher here since opening day, and Mike Roberts has had that trust in Michael Ebner since opening day.
But he loses Colby Turner here on 5 pitches. Turner reaching first, the second Gateman to touch the first base bag since Antonio Jimenez with his single an inning ago, and now Mike Roberts was trying to straighten things out, making sure that they had the right game plan against the next few batters in the order, the scariest part of this lineup for the Gateman. But unfortunately for Mikey Ebner's sake, he walks Colby Turner there, and it looks like that's going to put an end to his second start of the summer. So he goes 3 1/3, does give up a single, 1 walk, struck out 2. And with the new arm coming into the game, we'll take a quick break and be back on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam.
Taylor C. is the first man out of the pen today for the Kettleers. He's on to make his 4th appearance of the summer. All 3 of his first 3 appearances were starts. And, Alex, what can we expect from him?
Well, Taylor C., you mentioned his first 3 appearances, had a 4.15 ERA, a 1-2 record. And just a guy who pitched to contact, had only 3 strikeouts in his first 2 starts over 7 innings, but came out in a game against Hyannis, gave the Kettleers 6 innings, allowing 6 hits, striking out 8. Tossing 102 pitches just 5 days ago.
Immediately comes into the game, buys himself some time by throwing a pickoff attempt towards Colby Turner. But yeah, Taylor C. is one of those guys who was picked from a summer league where he started off his summer. And for him, that was with the Brazos Valley Bombers in the Texas Collegiate Summer League. And making his first start for the Kettleers back on July 19th, and that was after making a start, his final start for the Brazos Valley Bombers on July 15th. So from his final start in the Texas Collegiate League to his first start in the Cape League, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and it was on a solo shot. Next pitch, swinging and missing, is Murph Gray, who's now back to 0-2.
And the solo shot was hit by the man who is facing Taylor C right now, Murph Gray, deep into left field. That was really pretty much the only offense that Wareham had that game. Just the 1 run. They had 5 hits, Murph Gray having 3 of them. The other 2 came from the leadoff man in that game, Johan Desero.
We'll see in that start. It was mainly the mindset that you likely want a guy coming into that start, maybe a bit of an underdog mentality too for someone who's coming from the Texas Collegiate League, playing at Texas State, not a Power 5 program. Same can be said about Murph Gray out of Fresno State, but his mentality going into that start was, his strategy was to just make hitters go out there and hit his pitches. He's going to throw them and try to throw strikes, and if they can hit it, then they can hit it, as that one's thrown down to second and in time to get Colby Turner. What a throw by Matt Klein to pick up a much-needed second out of this 4th inning. And the bases are cleared off for Murph Gray.
Excellent throw by Matt Klein. Colby Turner trying to attempt to steal second. Now has been caught 3 times, and just a beautiful throw by Klein right on the money, and a great tag by Jaron Advincula.
Now that next pitch misses way outside. Count full to Murph Gray after starting out 0-2. Bit of an uncharacteristic start for Taylor C., who in his first start for the Kettleers found the zone with 51 of his 67 pitches. Here's the payoff to Gray. Tips it into the glove of Matt Klein, strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Taylor C., and after cutting down a runner at second, they only face 3 batters in the top of this 4th inning. So it goes 3 up, 3 down other than the walk, and still a 1-0 advantage for the Kettleers as we go to the bottom of the 4th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor.
Well, we weren't sure how the game was going to go today as we came into the ballpark, and at least when I got here, Alex, it was pouring down rain, and we really weren't sure if this game was ever going to get underway, but with the way that the radar is looking for tomorrow and also the rest of the week, these two teams making it a need to play this game, and they have followed through with that as Tanner Thatch leads off the bottom of the 4th inning, and he's down 0-1, but still cloudy skies overhead, and we just need to hope that this rain holds off for the rest of this ball game.
That's the hope, and I thought it was funny pregame when you were just getting to the ballpark. I was still making my way over from Falmouth, and I was like, wow, the sun's coming out. I texted you, and you were like, it's pouring here in Cotuit, but luckily the weather is held off and no rain so far.
Yeah, I think some of that sun made it over this way. We didn't have too much sun, maybe for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then the clouds continually came to cover everything up again. So it's going to be another one of those thick overcast days at Lowell Park. But luckily for both of these teams, this game kicking off at 4 p.m. local time, so a bit extra time to get all 9 innings in, 10 if necessary, in this ball game. So it's a 1-2 count to Tanner Thatch, who's already 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right field. Now he fouls that one off his front foot to stay alive at 1-2. No arms warming up in the Wareham bullpen just yet. There are a bunch of guys who are up there throwing short toss, some plyo balls against the fences, and stretching out, but it looks like for now it's Tate McGuire's inning. Thatch unloads on this one, sends it to deep right center field. Tanner back at the track, leaping up, and he makes the grab. Robbing Tanner Thatch of what could have been his first home run in 2 weeks. Colby Turner says no way, and there's one gone.
Tanner Thatch crushed that ball. Colby Turner battling the fence, leaping it up, and making the grab, crashing into the wall, holding on to that ball, and that's the closest Tanner Thatch has been over the past few weeks of leaving the yard, and that's an encouraging at-bat. Got a pitch that he could drive. Really didn't miss it. Just a better play by Turner.
Yeah, that's one for Tanner Thatch where you can't do much better than that without leaving the yard. But just a great play by Colby Turner. As Charles Davalon put one out of the reach of Colby Turner his last time up in the second inning, putting one over the right field fence for his second bomb of the summer, and that is held up for the Kettleers lead 1-0. Now he takes upstairs here, and he has a 3-0 advantage against McGuire in his second trip around the lineup. McGuire so far has allowed just one hit. It was the home run to Charles Davalon. Walked one batter, and everybody retired other than that, as that one's a get-me-over fastball for strike one. 3 strikeouts through now 3 1/3 innings for Tate McGuire. Charles Davalon was 0 for 1 in the game on July 10th, and now he chases after another pitch to make this count full. But flew out to straightaway center field and then was hit by a pitch by Tate McGuire. So now 1 for 2 with a homer. 3-2. Gets a hold of this one, now to the opposite way this time. Into left field goes Sam White, but he plays it and makes the grab for the second out.
Seen a lot of fly balls hit off the bat of the Kettleers. Now 3 consecutive outs for Tate McGuire, all coming on fly balls. Tanner Thatch with another fly ball in the first inning. Cotuit are getting pitches to drive. They're just getting underneath them.
Yeah, they're putting the ball in play, especially when you look at the last couple of innings. His last strikeout was against Nathan Hall to end the second. But since then, they've seemingly seen it well from Tate McGuire as Matt Klein takes strike one, but he popped out into foul territory his first time up, 0-1. But as we mentioned, has found some success against Tate McGuire. Leadoff homer against him the last time he faced him back on July 10th in that 7-6 win for the Kettleers. Since then, a 6-1 win over Wareham, and now Klein's back to 1-2 and then 10-9 the other day. But it was a great start for the Kettleers as they took an early lead against Wareham, but eventually fell in that game 4-2 in the season opener, and it was really 5 close games before these two teams meet here in the playoffs. But it started off with 3 really close games before both of these rosters started to become more complete, turn into juggernaut offenses in the West Division. Bloodbaths ensued with that 7-6 win, 6-1 win, 10-9 win on August 2nd. And the only time that the Kettleers since the first couple of games of the season, as that one's lifted through the left side of the infield and it gets through. Matt Klein with a 2-out single. He improves to 1 for 2, and it's the second hit of the day for the Kettleers.
Matt Klein continuing to hit, has now recorded base hits in the last 5 games that he's played in. Didn't get the start against Bourne to close out the regular season, but in his last regular season start in a game on the road against Falmouth, went 3 for 5 with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and picking right where he left off in the regular season with his first playoff hit.
Yeah, when you look at this team, they've struggled after the All-Star break. That one's rolled on the ground towards Murph Gray. He boots it, now throws to first, and that pulls the first baseman off the bag. Jaron Advincula beats that out up the first base line. and he legs out an infield single. See if that's the way they score it. But as of right now, the Kettleers will put runners on first and second with 2 gone for Nathan Hall.
It's the first time today that the Kettleers have had a runner in scoring position, and Jaron Advincula just checking his swing, dribbling that right to the third baseman, Murph Gray, who bobbled that ball. And it's super hard to get a guy like Jaron Advincula, who's incredibly fast, running down that first base line, and mix in a bobble and just a throw that pulls the first baseman, Eli Putnam, off the bag, and Advincula reaches on what will go down as an infield single.
So it's his first hit of the postseason for Jaron Advincula. He did that 51 times in the regular season, and now with 2 runners on base here in the bottom of the 4th inning and 2 gone, we'll see if there is a decision by Ryan Smythe and the Gatemen to take Tate McGuire out of this ball game. McGuire looks like he's not too happy with that decision as he makes his way off the bump towards the dugout. And we'll take a quick break, let you know who the next right-handed pitcher into the game for the Gatemen is on the other side of this break. You're on the Kettleers Digital Network.
To be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
When you need to be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Health.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
So Nathan Hall will be the first man to face Jacob Faulkner. With runners on first and second, 2 gone in this inning, Tate McGuire goes 3 2/3, does allow 3 hits, 1 earned run on the solo shot from Charles Davalon, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. But now Nathan Hall will be throwing against the sidewinder here to try to extend this inning. That one hammered to deep left field. Going back on it, Sam White. He's going to run out of space at the fence, and that ball is way out of here. A 3-run bomb for Nathan Hall welcomes Jacob Faulkner into this game, and the Kettleers take a 4-0 lead.
Take home on first. Give me the dugout. Right first. Take first.
That has to feel good for Nathan Hall, attacking the first pitch that he sees from Jacob Faulkner, left right over the heart of the plate, crushing it deep to left field for the second home run of the season for Nathan Hall, and welcoming Jacob Faulkner into a game with a bang.
His second homer of the summer. That was unexpected. And his first home run since June 20th in his Kettleers debut against Harwich. Man, that's got to feel good.
That was the first home run that Jacob Faulkner allowed all season, made 13 appearances during the regular season, had a 1.9 ERA, led the Gatemen in appearances, had a 3-0 record, and Nathan Hall, all it takes is one pitch to clear off the bases and give Cotuit a 4-0 advantage.
Some extra notches of advantage and insurance for the Kettleers. Now up by 4, and Jacob Faulkner is now just trying to put an end to this fourth inning for the Gatemen. 3 straight 2-out hits for the Kettleers. 1-2 count to Timo Becerra. Rolled slowly towards Murph Gray, but that one actually going to be a play made by Mike Roberts.
Let's see what Mike Roberts does here on home.
Perfect toss.
Yep, there we go. Race there. 6 there.
Peyton Kesselring, his second trip around the village with the Kettleers, second summer as the assistant coach for Mike Roberts after being the bullpen catcher in 2022. And there's a lot of those stories on this Kettleers coaching staff. Danny Crossan also returning for a second year on the coaching staff. Will Thompson and Elliot Wolf, their first seasons with the Kettleers as coaches, as Timo Becerra turns this one around towards the left field alleyway. Sam White has a play on this one, and he puts an end to the bottom of the fourth inning, as it's 3 flyouts surrounding 3 straight hits for the Kettleers, 1 leaving the yard in deep left field. A 3-run bomb for Nathan Hall gives the Kettleers a 4-0 advantage as we send it to the top of the 5th frame here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's.
It's now a 4-0 game for the Kettleers as we move into the top of the 5th inning, thanks to that man right there, the right fielder Nathan Hall out of Clemson. He'll be headed to South Carolina this upcoming season, and if he can turn around baseballs the way that he did in the bottom of the 4th inning, the Gamecocks are really going to enjoy having him in their lineup.
Well, Joe, it might just be something about this Gateman pitching staff for Nathan Hall, a guy who was lacking in extra base hits before playing Wareham in the last regular season matchup on August 2nd. His last extra base hit before that game, all the way back on June 28th, it was a double against Bourne. He tripled in the loss against Wareham and now turns around a pitch from Jacob Faulkner, welcoming him into the game with a 3-run blast.
So a new pitcher is on the bump for the Kettleers as we move into the top of the fifth frame. Nate Early is the batter, who nearly stroked one out of here back in the second inning. But that one over the bench of the visitors' dugout in the right field corner, right above that 320-foot marker. It traveled way more than 320 feet, but in foul territory, and he wound up flying out to center field. 2-0 count from Bo Sampson, who dials in a low breaking ball to make this count 2-1. So Bo Sampson gets his third appearance for the Kettleers this summer. He was the 44th arm used by Mike Roberts and the bullpen this year, as that one misses just outside the outer edge at 3-1. So that's the end of the day for Mikey Ebner and Taylor C., as that one is shot on the ground past Timo Becerra and down the left field line. Barely goes off the end of his glove, and Nate Early, after flying out his last time up, is able to follow through here with a leadoff single.
Early's been seeing the ball well, finished out the month of August, going 4 for 10, now picking up his fifth base knock, 5 for 12, and facing the lefty in Sampson, just shooting a ball down the left field line and reaching with a leadoff single.
Now he throws back at first. Nate Early looked like he was caught off the bag slightly there. But he got back in there standing up. And the batter is Reese Chapman. Flew out to Brandon Compton in shallow left his last time. Now he rolls this one over for Tanner Thatch, throws to second for one. Hansen's relay back to first is not in time, but they get the lead runner for the first out.
Smart play by the first baseman, Tanner Thatch, going to second for one just to get the lead runner and pick up an out. Would have been a tough turn. Bang, bang play at the bag, but Reese Chapman legs it out.
Now it's Eli Putnam. This part of the lineup that struggled the first rotation around Mikey Ebner, who went 3 1/3 innings, didn't give up any earned runs, just 1 hit on the board for Wareham. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Before his day was done with 1 gone in the, it was 1 gone in the 4th inning. But then when he was out there during the at-bat to Murph Gray, Colby Turner was trying to swipe second. Matt Klein gunned him down to make the second out of that frame before Taylor C. struck out Murph Gray on 6 pitches. And then has been taken out of the game for Bo Sampson, who starts off this 5th trying to work his way out of it. And a nice job there to bounce back after throwing a first pitch ball to Eli Putnam, who is 0 for 1 today with a ground out to Jaron Advincula. So it's a 1-1 count to the right-handed swinging Putnam. Just finished up at Davidson College, but will be a senior there this upcoming season. And is now down in the count 1-2. And this is an area where the Gatemen really struggled in the past week of the season, where they had a stretch where they lost 5 straight games. Putnam was a guy, though, who was able to find some success. But he rolls this one on the ground slowly towards Luke Hansen, who charges in, throws in time at first to pick up the second out. So he didn't have enough time to go for 2 there as Chapman moves up into scoring position. But they pick up that all-important second out.
Smart decision by Hansen at shortstop with all of his momentum running in toward the infield and just go get one at first. And as Chapman moves into scoring position, just guarantee yourself an out, and now there's 2 gone.
Hansen appearing in his 4th game at shortstop, it's his 5th game, 4th start at shortstop for the Kettleers this summer. So far this year has only made 1 error in the field. That was made at third base. Now he stands behind the runner at second base. It's reached Chapman as that one's roped straight back up the middle. Another play for Hansen. He spins and throws in time at first to get Sam White there. Great play by Luke Hansen, who continues to impress at the shortstop position. And the Kettleers maintain their 4-0 lead as we send it to the home half of the 5th frame. And when we come back, my broadcast partner Alex Rocco will man the controls from here on out on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas Bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000.
After wowing in the middle infield with a couple of nice putouts, Luke Hansen set to dig in for his second at-bat today, the first time facing the righty Jacob Faulkner here in the bottom of the 5th inning, where the Cotuit Kettleers have a 4-0 advantage over the Wareham Gateman in a do-or-die playoff matchup as the first offering from Faulkner misses beneath the knees of Hansen. Welcome back in on the Kettleers Digital Network. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside, as always, by my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt. And Joe, it's been all Cotuit so far through the first 4.5 innings.
Yeah, it has. I mean, credit this defense. It's something that we've been harping on this entire past week of the season, where going into the last game of the season and even after the last game of the season, an error in each of their last 6 games. Over an error per ball game, and a couple of those against this very Gateman team, but Luke Hansen has been at the center of it today for the stellar defense that has been played by the Kettleers today.
And it was 2 errors committed in the 10-9 loss against Wareham back on August 2nd, where Cotuit scored 9 runs, 18 hits. Those 2 fielding miscues proving vital, and that's something that Mike Roberts talked about post-game when he caught up with Adele Huffman after the loss, saying a lot of people looking at the stats for us think the pitching has been the issue. No, it's been the fielding. They've costed us a lot of games, but Cotuit has bounced back here in the playoffs as Hansen, taking a big cut, waves through the 3-1 offering, tips it into the mid of Gerald.
Those are the swings you like to see from Luke Hansen, who has really swung a hot bat in the past week or so. Really, it's been him and Timo Becerra at the bottom of the order.
The 0-2. Or the 3-2, taken for ball 4. So it's a leadoff walk for Luke Hansen. He reaches for the first time today and heading back to the top of the Kettleer order.
Well, he's a guy who, even with a 3-2 count, can work the count really well, especially when you look at his last 5 games played of the season. I mean, he's able to notch a hit in each of those games, get on base in each of those games, and just make solid contact with the ball that we really just didn't see from Hansen in his first 10 games played of the summer. And so with a leadoff walk to start off the bottom of the 5th inning, now you got the top of the order for the Kettleers coming up, a mound visit for the Gateman, and a new pitcher will enter into the game. So that's going to be the day for Jacob Faulkner, who entered into the ball game needing to get just 1 out, instead gave up a 3-run home run, then did get that 1 out to put an end to the 5th inning, and now has walked Luke Hansen to start off the bottom of the 5th. So we'll take a quick break with a new pitcher coming into the game for the Gateman.
Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here At the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services.
So Jacob Faulkner's day is done. He faces just 3 batters, starting off the bottom of the 5th inning with a leadoff walk to Luke Hansen, who leads off first. With the new arm into the game, being the lefty Hudson Lee, a pickoff move, Hansen is back in standing. But it's 6 consecutive lefties at the top of the Kettleer order, so Ryan Smythe going to a lefty of his own to square off against Brandon Compton. Compton 0 for 1 today, struck out swing in his first at-bat, walked in the 3rd. Lee starts him out with a first pitch ball that's taken outside. The second appearance for the Clemson lefty against Cotuit. Pitched in that game on August 2nd, went an inning, didn't allow a hit or a run, walked 2 batters and struck out 1, throwing just 14 pitches and 5 strikes. Falls behind Compton 2-0 here. He was on a tear to end the season. A pickoff move, Hansen back in standing. Started off slow in the month of June, hitting just .262 through 12 games, but turned up the heat in the month of July, hitting .365 with 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Hansen running for second. There's no throw from Gerald. So Luke Hansen swipes the second base bag, and the Kettleers have a runner in scoring position.
Second stolen base bag of the summer for Luke Hansen, immediately putting a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and that's just a great play and great decision by Mike Roberts, who after a couple of pickoff attempts decides to send Luke Hansen on the next one and put a runner in scoring position with nobody gone.
The 2-1 also misses off the plate to the lefty Compton, so he's up in the count 3-1. Going back to Compton's month of July, where he hit .365, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, walked 17 times in the 22 games, only striking out 12 times. The 3-1 off the plate goes off the glove of Gerald. Advancing up to third base is Luke Hansen. So smart base running by the Kettleers shortstop as Brandon Compton works the walk. The second consecutive walk to open up this bottom of the 5th, and the Kettleers have runners on the corner.
Well, the playoffs is a time where those little plays, like sending a runner on a 2-1 count or a ball that squeezes away from the catcher, it can come down to a dirt ball read and a stolen base attempt that could end up changing the outlook of the rest of the game. And so for the Kettleers, they take advantage of a pair of instances in this game where they're able to build a little bit of momentum, and let's see if they can capitalize here.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Lee dots the corner on Devin Taylor. Pitch that Taylor disagreed with, thought it was outside, but it's called strike 1.
And it's the same exact pitch that started him off the last time up, low and away.
The 0-1 to Taylor. Curveball swung on and missed, so he's quickly down in the count 0-2. Against Hudson Lee, who only throws 2 pitches, a slider and a sinker. The slider sits between 74 and 79 miles an hour, and the sinker 86 to 89 miles an hour. Let's see what he goes to with the count at 0-2. Got him swinging on the slider. Takes just 3 pitches as Devin Taylor goes down on strikes for the second time today as he falls back to 0 for 3. And there's 1 out here in the 5th.
3 straight sliders from Hudson Lee. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Devin Taylor. And now here's another guy who hammers fastballs, so you can expect to see a lot of those sliders here, right here against Tanner Thatch once more, who also we talked about has struggled against lefties.
Thatch hitting .189 during the regular season against lefties. First pitch in there for strike 1. Decided to switch things up. Going away from the slider, goes with the sinker as Thatch watches it go by. Hanson leads off third, Compton off first. The 0-1 on the way to the lefty, lays off outside. Thatch struggled against Wareham during the regular season, playing in 4 games, going 3 for 14, hitting at a .214 clip. Is 0 for 2 today. Is this one chopped hard? That'll get through into right field. Coming in to score is Luke Hanson as Tanner Thatch touches first base, and when he does, the Kettleers have a 5-0 advantage.
Just a great piece of hitting from Tanner Thatch, who's not trying to do too much there. You mentioned, and we talked about so much how he's not performed as well against left-handed pitching, but right there it's an example of Tanner Thatch just trying to make contact with the ball, trying to get on base, knowing that he's not a one-dimensional guy who's a home run or a strikeout, is able to drive in another run on the summer, his 26th RBI.
Thatch now 3 hits against Wareham in the last 2 games. As attempting to bunt is Charles Davalon. That goes off the mask of the catcher, Gerald. Davalon talking things over with Gerald, hoping that he's okay as he walks out to the mound. It's a Clemson battery mate, Hudson Lee, and Jacob Gerald. That's a big RBI single for Tanner Thatch, giving the Kettleers another insurance run as they now lead 5-0 over Wareham. Just the 4th RBI this season for Tanner Thatch against left-handed pitching. Guy who came into today hitting 189 against lefties, 10 for 53 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. But picks up a big base knock and gives his team a 5-0 lead.
And now the home plate umpire is offering, well, probably not offering, but issuing a warning to Ryan Smythe right now. Seemingly he's been letting the home plate ump hear it from his post at the first base side. But now with that time called, they're ready to refocus here for an 0-1 count on Davalon.
Davalon, playing in his 5th game against Wareham this year, has hits in all 5. His first one today left the yard as this one nearly goes back to the backstop. A sprawling stab by Jacob Gerald keeps that ball in front. You mentioned it earlier, Joe, wild pitches could be the difference, and the Wareham catcher laying out. The 1-1. Chopper off the front foot of Davalon. So the count goes to 1-2. Davalon now 6 for 14 with a double, a home run, 2 RBIs against the Gatemen this year. Finished the regular season hitting .242 with 15 hits and 62 at-bats, a home run and 11 RBIs. The home run that he hit back in the 2nd inning was his first since June 25th, where he hit a pinch hit home run against Falmouth as he stays alive here. That was his first hit as a Kettleer. So solo bomb deep to right field. The 8th inning of that game, ball traveled 385 feet.
There's a lot of similarities to that home run and the one that we saw in the 2nd inning today.
The one in the 2nd inning, 101 miles an hour off the bat, carried 358 feet. As this one hit right back up the middle, deflects off of Lee, goes right to the shortstop Jimenez, but Davalon will reach as he just puts a ball in play, and now the bases are loaded for Cotuit.
Well, for Hudson Lee, that was a tough play to field. He tried to put his glove down behind him and kind of make a behind-the-back grab instead of letting it go through to Antonio Jimenez, who's one of the best shortstops in the league. And now the pitching coach for Wareham will come out of the dugout as things are starting to crumble for them in this 5th inning, but they're going to try to keep the Kettleers at 5-0 with Matt Klein digging in and the bases juiced.
So Wareham will be switching pitchers. They're going to a righty out of the bullpen, so Hudson Lee's day is done as he exits with the bases loaded and Cotuit leading 5-0 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Founded and owned by Michael Pasek, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasek Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasek Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasek Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Escape the summer heat at
New pitcher into the game for Wareham. It's the righty Patrick Galley, and with him finishing up his final warm-up tosses, we'll go back to another edition of Catch Trivia. Here's the question once more. If you missed it, this Kettleer started at third base during Cotuit's run to the 2019 championship and played a pivotal role in Game 3 of Round 1 against Wareham, where he turned in five scoreless, two-hit relief innings. To advance to the division final, he debuted for the San Francisco Giants last year after being drafted by them in the second round of the 2020 MLB draft. And the answer of today's Catch Trivia is the pitcher Casey Schmidt. Of course, Catch Trivia presented by the Cotuit Library as the count evened up at 1-1 against Cotuit's catcher Matt Klein.
Yeah, Kettleer's two-way legend Casey Schmidt, who made his way to the league in 2022. Or excuse me, that was last year, 2023, he made his debut with the San Francisco Giants. And Mike Roberts had some great words to say about Casey Schmidt last season in 2023 when he was making his debut in the major leagues, and actually brought him to tears, just saying how he was the third from that 2019 championship winning team to make it to the big leagues, and just how he is a guy who, as great as he is on the field, is just as good of a man, if not better, off the field.
The 2-1, this one hit on the ground right to the second baseman, Desiro, who goes into a slide, makes the throw in time to nab Matt Klein at first base. Coming in to score is Brandon Compton. So it's an RBI ground out for the Kettleers catcher as they now lead 6-0.
That's a great approach for Matt Klein, who all this time this season we've seen him come up in big spots, and he's not a guy who is trying to go out there and be the hero, be the game-winning hit, be a guy who is going to leave the yard a bunch of times. No, he's someone who's just going to do anything he can to help his team win. He'll lay down bunts. He'll come up to the plate knowing that you just need to get that runner in from third, so he hits it to the pull side on a weak ground ball. That was a nice fielded play by Desiro, but it's enough to score the sixth run of the game for Cotuit.
2 gone in the inning. 2 runners in scoring position for Jaron Advincula as the first pitch taken beneath the knees to the Kettleer second baseman, who's 1 for 2. Legged out an infield single just an inning ago. A ground ball that was hit softly to the third baseman, Murph Gray, bobbled it momentarily, and that was all it took for Jaron Advincula to leg out his first hit in the postseason. As Advincula calls time on the play, steps out of the box. For Galley this season, made 12 appearances during the regular season, had a 3-0 record, a 5.19 ERA, had a save, went 17 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 12 hits, walked 15 hitters, struck out 19. This being his second appearance against the Kettleers. His first came all the way back in Game 1 against these two teams. Back on June 17th in a 4-2 Wareham victory, where Galley went 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, and struck out 1, throwing 26 pitches. 1-0, fouled hard off the bat of Advincula near the parking lot. Talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but Jaron Advincula capturing the batting title this season. where he hit .392, and a large portion of that his success against Wareham as this one chopped hard down the third base line. The long throw from Murph Gray. It skips and not in time. Jaron Advincula legs it out on a bang-bang play at the bag. The long throw from Murph Gray skipped into the glove of Eli Putnam at first, so Advincula legs it out. Coming in to score is Tanner Thatch, and Cotuit picks up run number 7.
Well, that is just more of what Jaron Advincula has been doing all season long, making it so much tougher for these infielders to have to make plays. It really is a routine ground ball for a guy like Murph Gray, who plays a really strong third base position, but a long throw for him, who heaved it from behind the bag, and that one looked really close at first base. Eli Putnam immediately thought that that was good enough to be the third out of the inning, and now Ryan Smythe is letting the first base ump hear it. He's talking with Ryan DeMary, who made that call beyond the first base bag, but the Kettleers will take it any way they can, and they lead at 7-0.
The breaks have all gone the way for Cotuit today.
And I was just going to say that that's just something that we've seen so much from Jaron Advincula, but it just shows you that this is a team that hustles hard, they want to win, and Jaron Advincula likely embodies that spirit better than anybody on this roster.
That he does, and Jaron Advincula against Wareham this year was 0 for 3 in the first game against the Gatemen. But after that game, 4 consecutive multi-hit performances. Picks up his 5th with 2 hits already today, and picks up a crucial RBI that plates the 7th run of the day for the Kettleers. Looked at the first pitch is Nathan Hall, who's coming off blasting his 2nd home run this campaign. It's a 3-run shot. This one lined hard down the third base line, but foul. Look out, Charles Davalon.
Yeah. And Mike Roberts. Oh, it's scorched down the left field line. Charles Davalon, a great base runner, as we've seen this summer, and these are 2 guys on the base paths right now who can really wreak some havoc. So with a 2-strike count here, of course, we have a little delay because Nathan Hall's bat broke, but extra minute here for Mike Roberts to think about what he might want to do. I know the production for Nathan Hall against Wareham pitching has been incredible, especially when you look at the last 2 games, but there's a chance here that you could see maybe Jaron Advincula try to take off from first, and maybe Davalon will try to take advantage, score from 90 feet.
Advincula running on the pitch, then stops as Hall hits this one foul just to the right of the press box. So he stays alive with the count at 0-2. And you mentioned the success that Nathan Hall has had against Wareham pitching this year. He's already 1 for 2 with a 3-run bomb earlier today, and now through just 3 games is 6 for 8. With 4 RBIs and 2 extra base hits. The 0-2 pitch dotted on the outside corner. Nathan Hall goes down on strikes, but not before the Cotuit bats come alive here in the bottom of the 5th as they plate 3 runs. As Tanner Thatch picks up an RBI single, Matt Klein with an RBI groundout, and Jaron Advincula with an RBI single to give the Kettleers a 7-0 advantage through the first 5 innings of play here at Lowell Park.
Of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover
The fans filling up both of the grandstands here at Lowell Park for a do-or-die quarterfinal matchup between the Wareham Gatemen and the Cotuit Kettleers. And Joe, the Kettleer faithful, they've had a lot to cheer about. They jumped out to a 1-0 lead on a Charles Davalon solo home run back in the second inning. They scored 3 in the fourth and 3 in the fifth as they lead Wareham 7-0 through the first 5 innings of play.
Yeah, and this is a crowd that at Lowell Park especially hasn't had much to cheer about in the past couple weeks.
Swinging at the first pitch and hitting a high towering pop-up right on the infield to the shortstop, Luke Hansen, as Antonio Jimenez is down on just one pitch. So one shortstop pops out to the other shortstop, and after one pitch, Antonio Jimenez is back to the dugout.
Kettleers looking for their first win at Lowell Park since July 19th. And coincidentally, that was a Friday night ball game where the Kettleers beat the Gatemen 6-1.
Taylor C. Michael Ebner pitched in that game. C went 5 innings through 67 pitchers. Ebner did the rest, going 4 innings, didn't allow a hit, only walking one batter en route to his first save, picking up a much-needed victory for Cotuit that put them in first place. Jacob Jarrell evening up the count at 1-1 after fouling a ball to the right of the press box. He's 0 for 1 today. Bounced into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Really nice turn between Luke Hansen and Jaron Advincula as this one's lined the other way. That'll dunk down in front of the right fielder, Nathan Hall. So the first hit of the day for Jacob Jarrell and a much-needed base runner for Wareham.
Yeah, well, after starting off 7 up, 7 down, they put a base runner on in each of the last now 4 innings. And with a 1-out runner on first, this is a part of the lineup that has had a lot of success this season. Not so much today, though, but it's going to be super important for Bo Sampson to try to pitch to some weak contact here against Desero.
This one hit slowly on the ground to Advincula, goes to short for 1. No throw from Luke Hansen, so Johan Desero reaches. But a smart play by Jaron Advincula to get the lead runner, and there are 2 gone in the inning.
Yeah, well, that's one right there where he gets some weak contact. Taylor made for 2, but the throw from Jaron Advincula pulled Hansen off the bag slightly towards center field. But you're still, bottom line, you're able to get that lead runner, able to get a much-needed out, and every single out continually becomes more and more important as we progress throughout this game. But now it's Colby Turner who has already reached base once today.
Turner 0 for 1, grounded out to Timo Becerra back in the first inning, then walked in the fourth, but was gunned down by Matt Klein attempting to steal second. When Murph Gray was up, he stands in the on-deck circle. Count is 1-0. Desero standing on first. Pickoff move, he dives back in safely. A lot of speed for Johan Desero. Swiped 8 bags during the regular season, was caught just once. He's been struggling at the dish, however, Joe. 2 for his last 15 coming into today, and now 0 for 3 as another pickoff move from Sampson.
It's been a Wareham team that has struggled in a lot of categories in the last week, but they're just a team that all season has been finding ways to win ball games, and I think you can give a lot of credit to Ryan Smythe, the manager for the Gatemen, who is really frustrated right now with the way that his team is playing, and we saw it going into this inning. He huddled them all up right around the first base coach's box and kind of gave them a pep talk before this top of the 6th.
We've seen that for Ryan Smythe this year, not afraid to talk to his team and even get ejected for his guys. There's been a lot of close calls that Ryan Smythe and the Wareham dugout have disagreed with. But Smith, a guy who likes to play for his team and battle out there, as this one hit slowly to Jaron Advincula at second, who goes to first for the easy out. So just the one base runner left on, that's Johan Desero, as Bo Sampson cruising in his second inning. As we're through the first 5.5 innings from Lowell Park, Cotuit still leading Wareham 7-0.
Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Welcome back to Lowell Park between the first round matchup between the Wareham Gateman and the Cotuit Kettleers. As Cotuit taking the 7-0 advantage through the first 5.5 innings, and taking a look at how the other playoff games are stacking up. Bourne and Hyannis just started. It's the top of the first. Both teams still tied up at 0 as Bourne quickly 2 outs in that top of the first. But the other game that started just as the same time as Cotuit and Wareham, YD in Orleans locked in a pitcher's duel. YD recently took a 1-0 advantage as that game sits in the bottom of the 8th. Would have been a massive upset on day one of the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs.
Yeah, dethroned the CCBL regular season champions, Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Orleans, who had to work some magic to make their way into the playoffs and seemingly about ready to go to that East Division final. But yeah, as you mentioned it, they're down 1-0.
Orleans had a 15-25 record, squaring off against the best team in the league, YD, who finished the regular season with 24 wins, 12 losses, and 4 ties. But a pitcher's duel brewing, 4 hits for Orleans, 5 for YD. Callan Fang got the start for Orleans. He went 5 2/3. Then Itsuki Takimoto came out of the bullpen, has gone an inning and a third, striking out 1, and that's a name that the Kettleers have faced a lot, carving up Cotuit for 6 innings in the last start. Game taking place just at the end of July. But back to Lowell Park as Timo Becerra digging in. Takes the pitch, flares it out to short right field. On the run is Johan Desero. Now gets called off by Colby Turner. Makes the running grab for out number 1. So Becerra falls back to 0 for 3 today with a pair of flyouts in his last 2 at-bats.
Hey, you know, when you look at the Cape League website right now and taking a look at all the games that are going on, the record underneath all the acronyms for the teams, 0-0, and that just shows you that it's all about winning that one game. This one game doesn't matter if you won 24, 25 games in the regular season the way Hyannis and YD did. I mean, Cotuit and Wareham both with 22 wins. It all comes down to right here today.
Cotuit and Wareham both finishing the regular season with the same exact record, 22, 17, and 1. Hansen up in the count 2-0 after the breaking ball from Patrick Galley misses the top of the strike zone. Hansen 0 for 1. Popped up to Antonio Jimenez in his first at-bat in the third, and then walked just an inning ago. It's another towering pop-up here on the infield. The first baseman, Eli Putnam, camping underneath it, backing up, gloving it down for the second out. So 2 quick outs worked by the reliever, Patrick Galley, in his first full inning here at Lowell Park.
You know what's great to see about that play, and a lot of guys might just jog up the first base line, stop at the first base bag, but Luke Hansen saw that Desero was away from the second base bag, as was Jimenez. He was charging around that first base bag, headed to second, showing off that hustle, and just in case, the slight chance that that ball is able to find the dirt. But those are just the things that you like to see, even up 7-0.
So it's back to the top of the Cotuit order. Brandon Compton hitting this one on the ground to the third baseman, Murph Gray, who makes the easy throw in time to nab Compton at first. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Patrick Galley here in the bottom of the 6th, getting a flyout of Timo Becerra, a pop-up of Luke Hansen, and a 5-3 putout of Brandon Compton as we're through 6 here from Lowell Park. Cotuit leading Wareham 7-0. And before we step aside, we'll bring on Adele Huffman, who's at field level.
Thanks, Alex. This is the first time these two teams have faced. The first time Wareham has entered the playoffs since that 2019 face-off with Cotuit, and the 7th consecutive year for Cotuit entering the playoffs. These two teams have faced each other 3 times since 2010, but the winner of each of those 3 games has gone on to win the CCBL championship every single time. So it'll be interesting to see if that curse can continue to be true. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks so much, Adele. Excellent work, as always. As these two teams familiar with each other, playing in the playoffs, just like Adele mentioned. Last time these two teams squared off in 2019, Wareham took Game 1. Then Cotuit bounced back and picked up a much-needed victory in Game 2. And, Joe, that was an offensive explosion.
Yeah, it was 22-2, I believe it was. I know Kettleers scored at least 20 runs in that ball game, and it was amazing to see when you look back at the playoff run for the Kettleers in 2019. They lost the first game to Wareham 8-7, and then went on to win 6 straight games en route to their 17th CCBL title. And yeah, that's an interesting stat that Adele just brought up right there. Great research from her end, and saying how the winner of the series in each of the last 3 series since 2010 has gone on to win the CCBL title, and it just shows you that the caliber of these teams that play against each other in whatever round it be. And in those 3, 2 of them have come in the first round.
Well, if all holds true, Cotuit leading 7-0 so far. Just 9 outs away as Murph Gray smacks this one hard. That'll split the infielders and get through in the left field. So Murph Gray was 0 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats with a pair of swinging strikeouts, but picks up his first hit attacking the first pitch from Bo Sampson.
Well, you can't keep him quiet for an entire game. Murph Gray struck out twice already in this game, and you were talking about earlier how he only had 12 strikeouts going into this game, and so he improves to 1 for 3 and a leadoff single for the Gatemen. So they're trying to re-energize their offense here in the 7th.
With the 2 strikeouts that he had earlier on, pickoff move, he's back in standing. Now 14 total on the regular season, 5 coming against this Kettleer pitching staff.
That's just a great job and a great approach against one of the top hitters in the league.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Nate Early fights a pitch off of his hands, going off the top of the snack shack. Couple of fans getting much-needed food. Maybe grabbing a pretzel. That would be my go-to snack.
And have you tried it here?
I have not.
Wow. They didn't like that call, but I know everybody likes the Lowell Park pretzel. You got to try it.
I have to once before the season ends, and hopefully for the Kettleers' sake, they continue to play here at Lowell Park with the fans lining up in both of the grandstands, the lawn chairs down the right and left field lines as the 0-2 pitch missed off the plate outside to Nate Early. He was 1 for 2 today, flew out to Charles Davalon in center field, but not before some controversy, crushing a deep foul ball that was initially ruled a home run. Was hit 101 miles an hour off the bat. It carried 376 feet. That ball was foul right when it was called a home run. Head coach Mike Roberts for Cotuit came out of that dugout hot, knew that ball was foul, and the umpires convened right near the pitcher's mound and ruled it foul as the count evened up at 2-2. This one hit down the left field line. Brandon Compton giving it a run. Will stop, but he runs out of room as that ball finds the seats. So another long fly ball off the bat of Nate Early. And Early was asked about this playoff matchup between Cotuit. He said it would be fun beating them. They're a good team, and I guess we have some beef as players because we kind of dance on the field in front of us. That ball was lined right in front of us. Look out, Joe.
Right at me. Now, who put this fence here?
Glad they did. We would have been hit right in the face.
Yep.
The 2-2 got him swinging. Nate Early down on strikes as Bo Sampson fans him, and a big strikeout for Sampson, the first out here in the 7th.
That is so huge for the Kettleers, just to give up a base runner and then immediately respond with an out. And every single base runner that has reached first for the Gatemen so far today, the next batter has been retired in some way, whether it be a fielder's choice, so they still put a man on first in that sense, but it just shows you the resiliency of this staff.
Fighting off the first pitch is the center fielder Reese Chapman. Going back to that quote by Nate Early, he said it would be fun beating them. They're a good team, and I guess we have some beef as players because we kind of danced on the field in front of them. So they're trying to get some vengeance, but I think we're the better team, so hopefully we pull out the win. But Wareham down to their final 8 outs here as the count evened up at 1-1, and that dance that he was talking about coming after the last game between these two squads. The 10-9 victory, the walk-off win where Eli Putnam, who stands in the on-deck circle, walked the game off with a walk.
Yeah, he did, and the dance that they're talking about took place right in front of the Kettleers dugout after that game, too. They all rushed the field, went up to first base to congratulate Chapman. Or excuse me, Putnam, who's on deck, as you mentioned.
Count evened up at 2-2. Reese Chapman 0 for 2 today. Flew out to Brandon Compton and left. Then grounded out to Tanner Thatch as this one floated right to Jaron Advincula, who drops the ball, and they're going to say that was an infield fly. So Reese Chapman is out. Murph Gray stays put at first. So there's 2 gone in the infield as Jaron Advincula trying to pull a fast one.
Yeah, it's a heads-up play from Jaron Advincula, but nice job by the second base ump to immediately know what he was trying to do there, and it would have been a perfect play for 2. Luke Hansen and Jaron Advincula, they've been going at it back and forth all game. You see them after making some plays in the infield. They just have a great relationship, it seems like, in the middle infield, and that's something that's really beneficial for Jaron Advincula, who going into this summer had only really played with another man at short.
This one smoked hard down the left field line. Eli Putnam reaches with a 2-out single. There's runners on first and second after the first base hit of the day for Putnam.
Yeah, perfectly placed for Putnam past Timo Becerra, who we've also seen play a lot of shortstop. And so when you see a guy like Jaron Advincula, who just finished up his freshman season at Cal, he played over 50 games there, rather, and all of those with P.J. Moutsaritis at shortstop. And he's had to deal with a lot of different guys playing the shortstop position, and that middle infield relationship is so important, as we've continued to see.
We've also seen the left side of the Kettleer infield change over time. Now it's Luke Hansen and Timo Becerra, but we've seen Nolan Naraki get a lot of time at third base. Tyler Cerny play a lot of shortstop. Both of those guys on the bench to begin the playoffs, as it's been Luke Hansen and Timo Becerra as Mike Roberts continuing to ride the hot hand.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Bo Sampson has been stellar in this game so far, and after Taylor C. pitched, after Mikey Ebner pitched, you really didn't know what direction this game was headed in, but he has to be really pleased with the way that Sampson has performed.
Sampson has gone 2 1/3, allowed 4 hits, no runs, hasn't walked a batter, and struck out 1. Facing his toughest test here with runners on first and second as this one grounded through into right field. Murph Gray gets the wave around from third. There's no throw from Nathan Hall as it's cut off by Luke Hansen. So it's an RBI single for Sam White as Wareham plates their first run today as they still trail by 6.
Seeing eye single for Sam White. It squeezes through into right, and that's one there where the Kettleers allow another 2-out base runner. And with that, Mike Roberts is out of his post from the third base side and out to make another pitching change.
That was a big hit for Sam White. Came into today 1 for 12 against Cotuit this season. After his 0 for 2 start, fell back to 1 for 14. But now picks up his second hit, 2 for 15. It plates the first run of the day for the Gatemen as Murph Gray comes in to score as Bo Sampson's day is done. So stay tuned for more. We'll have more information on the new arm for Cotuit. Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover.
Mike Roberts goes to the bullpen for the third time today, bringing the lefty Max Martzoff. So Bo Sampson exits after tossing 2 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 1 run, but leaves Martzoff in a tough jam with runners on first and second. 2 gone in the inning as the opening pitch taken well outside to the shortstop Antonio Jimenez, who's 1 for 2 today. Singled in his first at-bat back in the third and popped up to Luke Hansen just an inning ago in the 6th. Cotuit leading Wareham 7-1. Wareham played in their first run just a batter ago. Sam White, who stands on first, hit an RBI single into right field, scoring Murph Gray. As there's still work to do for the Gatemen. So they have one run on 6 hits, no errors. Cotuit 7 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Count evened up at 1-1. The lefty peers in, takes a look back at second, now comes home. Wicked breaking ball that fools Antonio Jimenez. He's well out in front as the count goes to 1-2.
2 breaking balls that have just fallen off the table for Max Martzoff. We'll see if he goes back to that pitch right here. You got runners on first and second, so with no runner on third, no reason not to bury one here.
The 1-2 pitch at the top of the strike zone. The appeal down at first. Jimenez did not go. So the count evened up at 2-2. Went away from the breaking ball. Martzoff made 3 appearances at the end of the season for Cotuit. Had an 0-1 record, a 2.25 ERA, Drops back a breaking ball that Jimenez lays off as he runs the count full. But he went 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run that was earned, hit a batter, walked 3, and struck out 5. Putnam leads off second, White off first. The payoff pitch on the way to Jimenez. Got him looking. Max Martzoff comes out of the bullpen and drops a breaking ball as Antonio Jimenez watches it go by for strike 3 as Martzoff strands runners on first and second as we're through the first 6.5 innings here at Lowell Park. Cotuit leading Wareham 7-1.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
The fifth pitcher into the game for Ryan Smythe's Wareham Gateman, it's the lefty Hudson Rowan, who enters with Wareham trailing 7-1 here in the bottom of the seventh, squaring off against the toughest part of this Kettleer order, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. All lefties, Devin Taylor, Tanner Thatch, and Charles Davalon, as Rowan pours on a first pitch strike as Taylor watches it go by. A tough day at the dish for Taylor. He's 0 for 3 and now quickly down on the count 0-2. Rowan, making his third appearance this summer, has an 0-1 record, an 11.25 ERA as a slow chopper hit by Taylor, as Gerald will let that ball go foul and nearly kicked off of his cleat. So he was trying to get out of the way of that ball, but it's just a weak foul ball for Devin Taylor, so he stays alive.
Yeah, almost a swinging bunt single for Devin Taylor, who was charging up that first base line, but gets a new breath of life after making contact with that pitch, still down 0-2.
For Rowan, though, we went 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, 5 runs that were all earned. Walked 2 and struck out 2. 3-pitch mix for the lefty. Fastball, slider, and changeup. The 0-2 on the way. Spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Gerald as Rowan lost his footing out on the mound. Taylor was 5 for 17 against Wareham in the regular season. Now 5 for 20. Make it 5 for 21 as Devin Taylor gets rung up on a pitch that was low and outside, but he strikes out for the third time today.
All I can say is, wow, that looked way low and outside. It's been a couple of pitches like that to Devin Taylor today, and he just couldn't believe that call. Winds up being the first out of the seventh.
Now that'll bring up Tanner Thatch, who's 1 for 3. Started off the day 0 for 2, picked up an RBI single back in the 3-run bottom of the fifth for Cotuit. Singled against the lefty Hudson Lee. His 11th hit against left-handed pitching this year. This one takes a bounce off the mound right to the shortstop Jimenez, whose throw in time nabs Thatch as he falls back to 1 for 4. As Hudson Rowan has come out of the bullpen and gotten 2 outs against arguably the 2 top hitters in Cotuit's order, Devin Taylor and Tanner Thatch.
Yeah, 6 straight retired for the Gatemen ever since a single from Jaron Advincula to drive in the 7th run of the game. So it's been a nice job by these relievers to come in and calm things down as they're just waiting for the bats to come alive.
One bat that has been alive all day is the man at the dish, Charles Davalon. Started off the day with a 358-foot solo home run in the second inning. Was launched at 101 miles an hour off the bat. He flew out to Sam White in left field, then followed that up in his third at-bat with a single as he was stranded on third. So an excellent day at the dish for the Kettleers center fielders. This one hit in the deep center field. Going back on it is Reese Chapman. Circles underneath it, makes the grab for the third and final out as Davalon hit it a long way, but it finds the glove of Chapman for the third out. As Hudson Rowan comes out of the bullpen, works a 1-2-3 bottom of the seventh as we're through 7 from Lowell Park. Cotuit and Wareham with the Kettleers leading 7-1.
Need to be seen for a minor illness or injury? Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
When you need to be...
One playoff game final here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. YD advancing to the next round after a 1-0 win over Orleans. And Joe, if that's going to be what this playoff is like, we should be in for a wild, wild ride.
I know. It's just insane to see that this is an Orleans team that has pitched so good throughout the entire season, and they didn't even give up an earned run today and still lost that game.
Callan Fang, the starter, he went 5 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 1 run that wasn't earned, walked a batter and struck out 4. Itsuki Takimoto came out of the bullpen, gave up 1 hit as this is a weak fly ball, hitting a short right field. That'll dunk down in front of Jaron Advincula and Nathan Hall, who collide. So reaching base is Jacob Jarrell, who swung at the first pitch from Max Martzoff and picks up his second hit today.
That one falling in no man's land between Jaron Advincula and Nathan Hall, perfectly placed down the right field line, and it's back-to-back singles for Jacob Jarrell after grounding into an inning-ending double play to start off his day.
But going back to the game of YD and Orleans, Takimoto came out of the bullpen, gave up 1 hit, 1 base runner, striking out 4 and 2 1/3. As it's back to the top of the Wareham lineup, Johan Desero. The 1 run that came in a score came in the bottom of the 6th. It was a fielding error by the left fielder Austin Smith as Ryan Sprock reached base, plating Easton Carmichael. Such a difficult way to lose if you're Orleans, a team that barely made the playoffs, making it in with a 15-25 record, squaring off against the best team in the league, YD. But it is the Red Sox who advance to the next round. They'll square off against the winner of Chatham and Harwich. As Desero falls behind in the count 1-2. Tough day for the Wareham second baseman. He's 0 for 3 with a flyout to Nathan Hall in right field. Struck out swinging in the 4th, and then grounded out to Jaron Advincula in the 6th. Back up for a 4th time here in the 8th. As Cheryl leads off first, the lefty Martzoff comes home. Another high-towering pop-up right to the shortstop, Luke Hansen, who runs in just on the lip of the outfield grass, or the infield grass, making the grab for the first out.
Well, nice job by Luke Hansen to communicate well, let everybody know that that was his baseball, and has really settled into being the captain of this infield, along with Tanner Thatch, who has made so many great plays and game-saving plays at first base. But as a shortstop, you got to know that you're taking on more responsibility in the infield, and Luke Hansen has been up to the challenge in his last 5 games.
Here's Colby Turner, the first pitch taken inside for ball 1. Taking a look at the other game going on, Bourne and Hyannis. The Braves leading 1-0 over Hyannis. That game in the top of the second. The Braves currently have runners on the corners, 1 out, and the winner of that game will square off the winner of this game. Wareham down to their final 5 outs as Turner's up in the count 2-0.
Yeah, a lot of time left in that Hyannis game. Bourne just recently taking a 1-0 lead. They had runners on second and third with 1 out in the second inning, and they jump out in front.
Isaiah Jackson walked, and Tristan Becerra came in to score on a pass ball by the catcher Cannon Peebles for the Harbor Hawks. So a tough way for Hyannis to give up the game's first run. Peebles, the former Kettleer, playing 4 games in Cotuit this summer.
That's how I see it.
Gerald leads off first, the 3-0 on the way to Turner. Misses the plate completely as Martzoff walks Colby Turner on 4 pitches. So now there's runners on first and second with the ever-dangerous Murph Gray set to dig in.
Well, when you look at some of the most important at-bats of this game, you look back at the pair of home runs by the Kettleers, you look back at some strong pitching and timely situations, mainly the strikeout to end last inning. This is an incredibly important at-bat right here.
Runners on first and second. The first pitch lined hard down the third base line. Gray shaking his head. Knows he might have missed a good pitch, but attacking early against the lefty Martzoff.
And that's exactly what he's done the first 3 plate appearances at the dish today for Murph Gray. All 3 of them he fell behind 0-2.
The 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball taken for a high and outside strike. Generous call goes the way of the Kettleers. So once again, Gray falling behind in the count 0-2. Gray improved to 1 for 3 last inning, picking up a single against Bo Sampson. Max Martzoff came in relief for him. Misfires on the 0-2 pitch. But Sampson went 2 2/3 innings tossed. Gave up 5 hits, 1 run that was earned, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 1. While throwing 37 pitches, 25 for strikes. Count evened up at 2-2 against Gray. He's been such a dangerous hitter, especially against the Kettleers. We've talked about it all broadcast long, but not only against Cotuit pitching staff. As this one shot in the left center field alleyway. Charles Davalon on his high horse. Gerald gets the wave around from third. He will come in to score. Following him is Colby Turner. There is no relay throw from Luke Hansen as Murph Gray picks up a 2 RBI double, leading another 2 runs for Wareham as they still trail 7-3.
That one sent a long way into the left center field alleyway. There was no wind helping that ball either. It was crushed by Murph Gray, who in his last 2 at-bats is now 2 for 2. And you got to rely on your best players at this point in the season, and he comes up big there. They're still down 4, though, but that's some promising offense for the Gatemen that they're going to want to bring into the last frame.
Gray, 4 consecutive games against Cotuit with 2 or more hits. Picks up RBIs 3 and 4 against the Kettleer pitching staff. He's now 11 for 24 against Cotuit. The count is 1-0 on the designated hitter, Nate Early. Early's 1 for 3. Looks at the 1-0 pitch in there for strike 1 to even the count at 1-1. Early struggled in the month of June, 5 for his first 25. That was good for a 200 batting average, but thrived in the month of July where he hit 300. 12 for 40 with a home run and an RBI, and took it up 1 more notch in the month of August. Came into today 4 for 10. And Joe, when I was looking at the stats, I thought it was funny. In the month of June, he hit 200. In July, he hit 300. So it was only fitting in August he hit 400. The 1-2 pitch. This one shot right to Nathan Hall in right field. Makes the running grab. in time for the second out as Hall stayed put, then adjusted, making the out for the second out.
Yeah, kind of a stutter step there from Nathan Hall, who started in immediately. Of course, the instinct is to start back and what you should do, but he's able to track that ball in front of him and pick up a much-needed second out, because Reese Chapman and Nate Early was a tough out earlier on in this game. Reese Chapman is also a tough out, and another guy who is really hard to keep quiet for an entire game.
Will be a pinch hitter for Wareham. It is William Parker. Pinch hitting for Reese Chapman, who is 0 for 3. So Ryan Smythe beginning to empty his bench, trailing by 4 runs with Murph Gray standing in scoring position. The first offering from the lefty. They're going to say that hit him as Parker was walking out of the box. We're going to have another meeting here as Wareham, the entire dugout, thought that pitch hit William Parker. It's Ryan Smythe started out of his dugout, and now they're going to have a conference.
It sure did sound like it could have caught a piece. But we've seen this umpiring crew convene once today and overturn a call, and the call on the field right now was made by the home plate umpire, Chris Engstrand. And it's really tough to be overruled on a call like that, because as the home plate umpire, you have the best view. You are closest to that play happening, and they'll say it did not hit him. And that's the day for Ryan Smythe. Wow.
The second time this season Ryan Smythe has been ejected against the Kettleers. It first happened earlier this month in a game that Wareham won 10-9 at Spillane Field. Now it happens in Game 1 of the playoffs, and Smythe is giving it to Chris Engstrand.
And you could just see him point towards the left field, or the right field corner there just a second ago. I mean, when you see that notion, you have to believe he's talking about the call that was made earlier on in the game where they, I mean, from his perspective, changed their minds, and from our perspective, we hopefully think that that was the right call, and it seemed like it was. And right here, that's just a bang-bang play, and it's really a judgment call. And that's really tough to make as an umpire, especially at this point in the game. It's already been such a frustrating day for Ryan Smythe, especially as a manager, and you know that he's been giving it to this umpiring crew ever since that ball left the yard, but in foul territory. He thought it might have been fair from that angle, but that is just a culmination of a very annoying day for Ryan Smythe as a manager. Yet he is still in the dugout.
I guess Ryan Smythe pulling his best Bobby Valentine impression, staying in the dugout after he was ejected, but Parker hits a fly ball that finds the glove of Nathan Hall for the third and final out of the inning here in the top of the 8th, but not before the Gatemen plate another 2 runs after a 2 RBI double by the hot-hitting Murph Gray. As we're through the first 7.5 innings of play here at Lowell Park, Cotuit leading Wareham 7-3, and once again, we're joined alongside by our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman.
Thanks, Alex. Now that we're nearing the end of our first round of
embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts.
The Kettleers has looked like. With a rough start there in July, the Kettleers did not let that stop them. They then soared into an 8-9 winning streak there, and after soaring for a while, hit a little bit of trouble starting June 26th and into August, and then ended up falling from the first seed of the West Division to the second. But this is a team that has been on a roller coaster ride this whole summer, but has not let those downs get to them at all, and we have seen that today. This is a team that has fight and that wants it. So excited to see how the rest of this game plays out. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks so much, Adele. Excellent work as always. And like you mentioned, it's been a little bit of a rocky road for the Kettleers. They started off their season with a 1-3 record, then went on a tear after that, winning 6 consecutive games. Then started off slow in the month of July again, the similar record, the 1-3 start to the month of July, and they had a tear in the middle of it, but finished the regular season struggling. But surely have put it all together here in Game 1 of the playoffs against Wareham.
Yeah, and that's really all you needed. I mean, we talked about it even before the regular season started that we knew it was all going to come down to one game won in the playoffs, and then you got to go from there. And so this is a team that really struggled in the last week of the season. You saw some positive things happen, but they were just seemingly finding ways to lose. And Adele was just talking about it. Their hot stretch to finish June, their hot stretch into the month of July, and it was mainly figuring out a way to win baseball games. It seemed like that was the opposite at the end of the season, and today they just got to keep pushing, keep the pedal down, and rely on some pitching and hopefully some offense for their sake here in the bottom of the eighth.
7-3 is the score. The 0-1 pitch fouled away off the bat of Matt Klein. Twisting foul ball that goes near the batting cage. The Kettleers. So the count is 0-2 against the lefty Hudson Rowan, who returns to the mound for his second inning of work. A high fastball that Klein lays off. All it took was 10 pitches for Rowan to get through the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the Kettleer lineup. Just an inning ago, got a strikeout of Devin Taylor, a ground out of Tanner Thatch, and a fly out of Charles Davalon. It's another foul ball off the bat of Matt Klein. Count remains at 1-2. Rowan threw 10 pitches, 7 strikes. So an effective inning for the lefty. Klein is 1 for 3 today with an RBI groundout in his last at-bat as he falls back to 1 for 4 here as Hudson Rowan dropping in a beautiful breaking ball as Klein watches it go by for strike 3.
Well, Matt Klein enjoyed a couple of great at-bats in the 4th and 5th innings where he singled, scored a run, also drove in an RBI, and another great day for him behind the dish, who started off catching a guy who he's already caught 5 times going into this game this summer in Mikey Ebner, but now 1 for 4.
So threw out a base runner. Threw out Colby Turner attempting to steal second back in the 4th inning. Another guy having a good day is the man at the dish, Jaron Advincula, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI. Next offering, Advincula lays off. Scoreboard showing the count at 1-1. The count is 2-0 as Advincula just spears that ball right off of his bat. It was a fastball that ran in on his hands. But another multi-hit day for Jaron Advincula. Had 19 during the regular season, and in his first playoff game as a Kettleer, notches another one here as this one spiked in the dirt, just goes by the catcher Jacob Jarrell. Advincula was on a tear in the month of August, 7 for 13 to close it, to begin the month. 2 RBIs. Now adding to that total here with hits 8 and 9 as this one slapped the other way right to Murph Gray. That goes behind his glove and into left field. So the 3rd hit of the day for Jaron Advincula as he's now 3 for 4.
Seeing eye single from Jaron Advincula. It dunks underneath the glove of Murph Gray and then past Antonio Jimenez. It's just been more of that from Jaron Advincula all summer long, and he continues that in today. Another multi-hit game, as you just brought up, his 20th of the summer, and that brings a end of the line for Hudson Rowan.
So Hudson Rowan comes out of the Wareham bullpen, faces 5 batters, all 5 lefties. His day is done after he retired. The first 4 he faced, gives up a 1-out single to Jaron Advincula. So Wareham going to the bullpen once again. We'll have more on the new arm after this break.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website. Door dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
The new arm into the game for Wareham is the right-handed reliever, Tony Pluta, who squares off against the Kettleers for the 2nd time this season, facing off against the ever-dangerous right fielder Nathan Hall, who's 1 for 3 today with a 3-run homer. Sharon Advincula dancing off first, breaks for second, now stops the snap throw back from Gerald Advincula back in standing. It's the 2nd time today Nathan Hall has been the leadoff hitter, facing the new arm into the game. To that, when Jacob Faulkner came into the game, the first man out of the Wareham bullpen, welcome him into the game on the first pitch with a 3-run blast. Count evened up at 1-1. Advincula once again dancing off first, broke for second, and stopped. Pluta during the regular season, an 0-0 record, a 2.33 ERA, making 11 appearances out of the bullpen. Advincula now takes off for second. The snap throw from Gerald, not in time as that ball skips into center field. Advincula breaks for third. He will make it without a throw. So Jaron Advincula advancing to second on the stolen base, moving up to third on the throwing error by the catcher, Jacob Gerald.
That is just so huge for the Kettleers after giving up 3 unanswered to the Gateman in the last 2 innings to put a man not only on second base but also just 90 feet away. They'll pull the entire infield in here, and all Nathan Hall has to do is put something into the outfield. Doesn't matter if it's sky high in the air or on a line. It likely scores the 8th run of the game.
Nathan Hall now 5 for 9 against Wareham this season, as Pluta misses the zone. Count evened up at 2-2 against the Kettleer right fielder, who also had a hot month of August. 5 for 9 coming into today, now 1 for 3, so 6 hits in August for Nathan Hall. Staying alive, hitting that pitch right off the fence near the bat boy of the Gateman. It's a great start to the season for Nathan Hall. It was 11 for his first 30. First 8 games as a Kettleer. That was good for a .367 batting average. The 2-2 pitch, this one hit in the left field. Running after it is Sam White, who gets underneath it. Tagging from third base is Jaron Advincula. The throw to the plate is in time. They got him. What a cannon from Sam White in left field to nab Jaron Advincula at the dish, tagging from third. An excellent throw, right on the money, gives all the momentum to the Wareham Gatemen as we head to the top of the 9th with Cotuit just 3 outs away from advancing to the second round of the playoffs.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Wareham down to their final 3 outs as we head to the top of the 9th here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Alex Rocco and Joe Pratt taking you all the way through this contested battle between the Cotuit Kettleers and the Wareham Gateman. Cotuit jumped out to a 7-0 advantage after the first 6 innings of play, but Wareham scored 1 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. They have all the momentum after the 7-2 inning-ending double play, turned by the left fielder Sam White, who threw an absolute missile to the catcher Jacob Jarrell to nab Jaron Advincula, tagging from third. White set to hit second in the inning. Here's Eli Putnam. The 1-0 pitch chopped hard on the ground to Jaron Advincula at second. He gloves it. His throw in time for the first out.
Well, you can see the extra measures of caution there by the infield with Jaron Advincula cradling that in the glove and then throwing it to Tanner Thatch, who receives it with 2 hands with the grab at first base. And there's 1 step, 1 inch closer away from making it to the West Division Finals.
So here is the lefty Sam White, who started off the day 0 for 2, singled in his last at-bat, but Max Martzoff pours in a first pitch strike. White 2 for 15 against Cotuit this season. The 0-1 on the way, dotted just beneath the zone. As White lays off, the count evened up at 1-1. Against Martzoff, who working in his 4th appearance, the 4th arm used for Mike Roberts and company. Michael Ebner started today. As this one hit slowly on the ground once again to Jaron Advincula, looks it into his glove. His throw in time. So back-to-back 4-3 putouts, and the Gatemen are down to their final out.
And if there's anybody you want fielding some ground balls with the season on the line, it's Jaron Advincula, who now in over 140 chances at the second base position has made just 1 error.
So the Wareham Gatemen season hangs in the balance of their shortstop Antonio Jimenez, who's 1 for 3. The first pitch from Martzoff misses the zone. Jimenez 1 for 3 today, 3 for 19 against Cotuit during the regular season, striking out 8 times. One of those strikeouts ended the game back on June 29th, Struck out against Cam Schulke to end that game. Pulled the string against him. Max Martzoff looking for a familiar fate. The 2-0. Breaking ball dropped in the strike zone. Cotuit came into the playoffs with a 22-17-1 record. His time is called on play.
Giving Antonio Jimenez a couple of seconds to think about this next pitch, and he has a chance to do so with a 2-1 count to take a big swing if he really wants to. You're not going to get it all back with one swing, though. All you're trying to do here is fight and get your way on base. But he's got a good chance of doing so now with a 3-1 advantage.
So the count is 3-1 on Antonio Jimenez. Just looking to keep the Gatemen season alive. Max Martzoff looking to slam the door for Cotuit. Breaking ball looked at for strike 2. The count is full here, 3-2, 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. Cotuit leading Wareham 7-3. Martzoff comes set, peers in, the payoff pitch, shot foul down the third base line.
It's a competitive pitch there, low and inside, and you got to have a lot of confidence in that pitch if you're Max Martzoff to throw it at 3-2, and let's see if he comes back with it.
Martzoff, 37 pitches today, 20 strikes, has gone 2 innings. Looking to put a bow on this game as Antonio Jimenez hits this one deep to left field. Going back underneath it is Brandon Compton at the track. But that ball is out of here. What an at-bat by Antonio Jimenez on the 7th pitch of the AB. Takes Max Martzoff deep, and we're still alive here at Lowell Park as the game is 7-4 on the first home run of the playoffs for Jimenez.
Well, that's just about the best case scenario right there if you're a Gateman fan. A battle at the plate between Max Martzoff and Antonio Jimenez, and he wins it on the final pitch there, putting it into the Kettleers bullpen. Into left field, but Cotuit building that 7-run cushion, still up 3.
Ball traveled 320 feet. 96 miles an hour off the bat. Count is 1-0 on the catcher, Jacob Jarrell, who's 2 for 3 today. 2 for 2 at his last 2 at-bats. The 1-0 in there for strike 1. Evening up the count at 1-1. Cotuit jumped out to a 7-0 lead after the first 5 innings of play, but Wareham have scored 4 unanswered runs. The 1-1 waved on and missed. The count goes to 1-2, and once again, the Gatemen down to their final strike. Martzoff toes the rubber. The fans here at Lowell Park rising to their feet. Another foul ball off the bat of Jarrell.
He's pounding low in the zone, trying to keep it away from anything that he can hit high and up into the air into the outfield. Let's see what he tries to come back with another 1-2 count.
Martzoff looks in, kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. Laid off in the dirt to even the count up at 2-2. The anticipation building as Martzoff struggling to put these Gatemen hitters away. He toes the rubber once more. The 2-2 pitch. Foul tipped in and out of the glove of Matt Klein.
It's that anticipation.
6 pitches in the at-bat so far. The 2-2 pitch again. Another high-towering pop-up straight to Brandon Compton in left field. He will run in, camp underneath it, and make the grab. For the first time since 2019, the Cotuit Kettleers are heading back to the West Division Finals as they take down the Wareham Gatemen 7-4.
Well, what a way to put an end to a 3-year drought from making the second round of the playoffs. The Kettleers have not made it to the second round since they went on to win a championship where, again, they beat the Wareham Gatemen in the first round of that playoff run, and they do it again here in 2024.
Cotuit jumped out to a 7-0 lead after the first 5 innings, but Wareham made things interesting, scoring 4 unanswered, but it was the offense that helped guide Cotuit to the 7-4 advantage, and Max Martzoff coming out of the bullpen, going 2 1/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, 3 runs, but shutting the door, getting the fly out to Brandon Compton in left field against the catcher, Jacob Jarrell.
Well, getting a hot start in this game is something that the Kettleers needed, and Charles Davalon, who makes his way into the huddle right now on the third base side. I mean, this team is fired up, and we were talking about it earlier on in July when one of the veterans for this team, Cam Schulke, was headed off the Cape as he recently was drafted by the Cleveland Guardians, and that put an end to his 3 summers here with the Kettleers. And he said, this is easily the hardest year that it is to leave because this is the tightest group that he has been a part of in Cotuit the last 3 years. And we have seen that through the dog days of the summer, through when times have been the best. And this is a team that has stuck together and stuck with one another all throughout it. And this is just a culmination of all that hard work, all of that tenacity, and all of that teamwork and chemistry that we've seen from these guys throughout the entire 2024 summer, and that all comes to fruition today with a 7-4 win over the Gatemen, who were nipping at their heels all season long for the first place spot in the West. And baseball has a funny way of creating the best matchups between two teams, and this is likely the best series matchup that we've seen between the Kettleers and any other team throughout the summer, and it did not disappoint today.
And I'm glad you mentioned that quote from Cam Schulke, as this was a Cotuit team that was limping into the playoffs. They were so hot throughout most of the month of July, but they fell on hard times, lost 6 of their last 7 games, finished the month of August with a 1-4 record, but they come here in the first game of the playoffs and knock off the Gatemen 7-4. And Joe, what does it say about Mike Roberts, his coaching staff, this team, even despite adversity, coming together and at the biggest moments, playing their best baseball?
I think this is a coaching staff that has so much relatability with these players. They make them want to come back to the field each and every day, and I think Mike Roberts plays a big role in that, just with his coaching expertise and all the baseball knowledge that he has accumulated over his over 45 years of coaching baseball. But to bind that with the relationship of all of these young coaches, all of them are below the age of 25. I mean, we saw Cody Colden at the start of the year, but he made his way back to Dallas Baptist. Danny Crossan on this staff, Will Thompson, Trey Holland, who was a part of that 2019 championship winning team, as we saw earlier today. And it's just a staff by so many guys who want to win games, so many guys who love Cotuit, but they also love the guys next to each other. And it's not about the love for the game, because you know that these guys all have that. There's a reason that they're here, and it's because they love the game of baseball and that they're incredibly good at it. But just to know that they love one another and are willing to do anything for the guy next to them, that's the biggest thing in trying to make a playoff run happen, and they got off to a good start today.
You mentioned getting off to a good start, and that leading us into that bottom of the second, and, well, that entire second inning. It was a wild ride. Nate Early crushed a pitch against the starter, Michael Ebner, deep to right field. It was initially ruled a home run, but after the umpires convened right in the middle of the field, they deemed it was a foul ball. Then on one of the first few pitches in the bottom half of the inning, Charles Davalon goes deep.
And that was a pitch for him that he saw middle and knew that it was headed to the trees right off the bat. I mean, that's a pitch that Charles Davalon has gotten the last couple weeks, but just hasn't really been able to get that home run swing on. I mean, we've seen him get a lot of extra base hits, that one being his 6th of the summer, most of them being doubles, the other one being a home run. And so when you look at the game of baseball and knowing that you need 27 outs to win it, and there are so many factors that go into getting all those 27 outs, you look back at a turning point in the game, and you obviously need to dictate a lot of different moments in this game as turning points, but I think that was likely the biggest one in response to the home run being taken away by the leadoff hitter, Nate Early, who pulled it into foul territory into the right field corner in the second inning, and then Charles Davalon, which is just crazy to look at. It's the 4th hitter in the lineup. It's the leadoff man in the second inning. Early just misses, but Davalon straightens it out in response to take that 1-0 lead, and they built a 7-run cushion after that.
We've seen the power come to play for Cotuit this postseason. 2 home runs, one by Charles Davalon, like we talked about, the other by Nathan Hull. And Joe, the power was really lacking from Cotuit to end the regular season. Before Brandon Compton hit a home run against Bourne on the final day of the year, it was Jaron Advincula blasting his first home run. That was the last home run hit before that home run on August 4th. Advincula hit it on July 30th in a 7-5 loss against Harwich.
Yeah, that was a week ago now, and even more so when you look back at the last time that this team won at Lowell Park. They had the 9-11 home record going into this series, and their last home win was against Wareham, 6-1 on July 19th. So to get back in the win column at Lowell Park is so huge, to give these fans something to cheer about. But when you look at the last 3 years, they haven't had much to cheer about in the playoffs, and so just to see the way that this team performed throughout the entire season and the way that they battled through that last week of the season, that's one of Mike Roberts' favorite words, and he has said that time and time again throughout this summer. And this is a team that has battled every single day, and even when they weren't playing that great, there were still positives to take away from it. And this isn't a team that wanted to go home. They wanted to enjoy the rest of their summer. No, they wanted to stay here. They wanted to win more baseball games, get some more opportunities, and they earned that today.
And now Adele Huffman is joined alongside by the man of the hour. She's joined alongside by Adele Huffman. And Adele, we'll send it down to you.
Place in
it's been a tough week. We lost 6 out of 7. The guys did today is they played in every facet of the game what you work all summer for to happen, and that's defense was good. I turned a couple double plays. Clutch pitching was outstanding. Our base running was really good, and I think probably that I just told the team got me today was. He came up, left Clemson. He wasn't going to the region. Hadn't played much this year and decided to go on. Agreed with it. Just the two of us. And I'm throwing to him, and he's hitting off the machine, and it's he wants to work on things. And Nate did it great. He did it great. And then got it when the sub and wow, when I get emotional, ball came off the bat. Good Lord, let it go out. There's a youngster who been paid. I mean, first you're always had. You know, you have good pitch, and everybody in the league can. But the teams are offensively, and everybody's got 9 pretty good hitters, if not 12. So. Really like we were during the gosh. The players in the game execute for today's game. They got a hand because
congratulations on it. How hard. Tomorrow for the second round of playoffs to be determined where and when, but we'll see at Low Park. See you later, family.
Thanks so much, Adele Huffman, as she was joined alongside by head coach Mike Roberts. And we apologize for the technical difficulties with head coach Mike Roberts' interview, but if we could hear him, we'd like to assume that he was talking about just the complete game that Cotuit played, and this was the first time that they haven't committed an error in the last 6 consecutive games, and just that defense, we really saw it early on with Michael Ebner pitching. It was the defense that was leading to Ebner's success.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and that's something that he's done such a great job of all season. I mean, when you have a strong defense playing behind you, it makes things so much easier as a pitcher. And for Mikey Ebner, all you have to do at that point is pitch to some weak contact. And that's really all that he's done all season. He has a whip below 5 or 0.55, and that's the lowest of any pitcher in the league with over 20 innings pitched this summer. So that's just an incredible mark to see as someone who doesn't put a lot of base runners on but does give up a lot of contact. It's great to see, but it also tells you that this is a defense that is playing very stout defense behind him, and they did so again today for all of their pitchers.
And, Joe, as we look to put a bow on this quarterfinal matchup between the Cotuit Kettleers and the Wareham Gateman, I want to keep it here with the pitching staff, and this was something that we've hit on a lot in the past few weeks, the revolving door of pitchers coming in, but getting a quality start from Michael Ebner, who went 3 1/3, giving up 1 hit, only walked a batter, struck out 2. Taylor C. coming in relief, but then the 2 new guys, Bo Sampson, Max Mardoff, eating up 5 innings of valuable time.
Yeah, Max Martzoff in his 3rd appearance. I mean, Bo Sampson in his 4th appearance now. And that's just amazing to see that those guys eat up the last 5 innings of this ball game. I mean, they were able to pitch into the 4th inning was Mikey Ebner and Taylor C. They completed that 4th inning of work, and we knew that it was going to be those 2 guys to take up a big portion of this game, as we saw the last time these 2 teams met at Lowell Park, where it was Taylor C. for 5 innings and then Mikey Ebner for the rest of the 4 innings of that ball game. But today it was more of a collaborative effort. You saw some things at times, like some 2-out hitting, some 2-out RBIs for the Gateman that should hopefully be cleaned up for the Kettleers' sake moving on into the next round. But you just got to be so happy with what you saw from your pitchers today, the offensive output in the first 5 innings of the game, and also the way that they finished all the way down to the end.
Cotuit, the first team advancing to the West Division Finals. They're waiting the result from Bourne and Hyannis. That game currently evened up at 1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Hyannis with a runner on 3rd and 2 outs. And, Joe, one final question here. Whether it's Bourne or it's Hyannis, what do the Kettleers have to do to come away with a Game 1 victory or a series victory?
Yeah, well, those are 2 scary teams, as we talked about earlier, and they're both on heaters going into the playoffs, Hyannis and Bourne. And so I think when you look at both of these teams, you say that they've been able to win some games against both of those squads so far this season, owning the season series against Hyannis and against Bourne, but it's mainly been the starting pitching that was really strong against Bourne earlier on in the season, also the defense to combat or to go along with that as well. But when you get the offense that you saw in the last couple of games against Hyannis at the end of the season, minus the 4-0 loss here at Lowell Park last Friday, but including the games before that where you're able to jump out to early leads, and whether it be getting ahead early in the game but also having some great offensive output at the end of the game, the offense has been clicking against Bourne and against Hyannis. So I think the key to pitching or playing against both of those teams will be the pitching, mainly the relief pitching, because these are 2 teams that you're not going to be able to shut out for the entire 8-9 innings of a ball game. You could maybe shut them out for the first 4, depending on who's going on the mound for the Kettleers. But you mentioned it, the amount of different guys who've been able to pitch for the Kettleers this summer, it makes pitching that much more important, because the relationships isn't the same that what we saw between pitchers and catchers, like what we saw today with Matt Klein and Mikey Ebner, who have already thrown together for plenty of innings so far this summer. That really hasn't happened for all the pitchers on the staff. So to be able to continue to build that chemistry but also be stellar on the mound will be super important in the next series, whoever it may be against.
But that'll do it here from Lowell Park. For my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt. For our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman. For our production crew of Cam Christie and Jimmy Chantulis, I'm Alex Rocco. Thank you so much for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. Cotuit advances to the West Division Finals, taking down Wareham 7-4, awaiting the result between the Hyannis Harborhawks and the Bourne Braves. We'll talk to you tomorrow, potentially from Hyannis or back here at Lowell Park.